Welcome to the 51st Crew Classic. My name is Sam Stitt. I will be your commentator for racing today. I'm also joined here by Matt Steely.
Hey, Sam. Welcome to you also. As Sam said, it's the 51st San Diego Crew Classic 2024, and we are beating the weather gods today. We were expecting rain, but San Diego did the San Diego thing, and we're going to have good weather for the rest of the afternoon. This is good racing weather.
Yeah. I know it's been a little bit spotty all morning, but it looks like the skies are clearing up. The wind's a little bit, it's been dying down a little bit. But yeah, we're expecting some great weather for racing here. We have the crews lining up right now, so we will be joining you again just to go through the crews and kind of get through the names and who's in the boat to give you a little bit more idea of who's racing here. But as you can see on the screen, the crews look like they're lining up. A little bit of a crosswind here. You can see kind of some of them are aiming towards each other right now. But as they get closer to the start, you'll see those crews kind of aiming more straighter down the course.
Yeah, this is one of the most funnest parts of the race as far as my favorite part. This is where a lot of strategy comes in and technique. The coxswains are all lining their crews. They're having either their bow oar or their two-seat oar sculling, which is doing light strokes to keep the bow pointed straight up the course or a little bit beyond straight. So by the time they hand it off to the starting official, their boat is lined up straight and they're waiting for that famous two words, attention, go.
Yep.
And that's when they're out. And but right now we see that intensity down there at the starting blocks as this first race is preparing to get out of there.
Yeah, and I believe this view is coming to us from a drone, actually. I believe we're so high up off the water. We're going to be able to see all crews starting. Usually they have a camera at the starting line that'll show individual crews, but off the start, we should be able to get all the crews in the same picture. Should be kind of nice. As you see, we're looking down the course right here, so get a better idea of who's out in front and who has a better start and who doesn't.
Yeah, and this first in the start for those, another little tidbit is that that first 100 meters is critical. We call that the breakage point. If the crews get out of there, if something happens that first 100 meters, a equipment problem, the officials will stop the race and bring it back and restart it. But once you're past 100 meters, all bets are off, and doesn't matter what happens to your boat. It's shucks, no, that's bad luck.
Yep.
Anyway, another thing to watch as they get out of the blocks is that the bridge in our picture right now, that's the South Ingram Bridge, that there'll be a north and northwest quartering wind coming through that bridge. It'll give the crews a little bit of trouble coming across their port side of their shells. But they all know about and they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, it looks like these crews are sitting ready now. Now, again, this is race number one, event 14, Mixed Masters Club 8. Now, again, here we go. We're going off the start. So, again, to mention, we are watching this race in real time, but remember that these races are also handicapped so that the person finishing first isn't always exactly in first place.
Yeah, that's a good point to make, Sam. It's like we have to wait at that first bow ball. The first person across the line, not necessarily the winner. We have to wait till the handicaps are applied. But all rowers like to be the first across, no matter what.
Yeah, and this looks like some pretty tight racing from the get-go. Looks like all crews have had a nice clean start. Matt mentioned there's a little bit of a breeze, but it looks like it's not phasing our crews here. It looks like everybody's gotten away cleanly here. We have in lane one, San Diego Rowing Club. We have in lane two, Club Nautico. Lane three, Marin Rowing. Lane four, Susanville Rowing. Lane five, Lake Washington, and lane six, Boulder Community.
Yeah, and it looks like our crew in lane two is pushing their advantage to that first 250 meters. That's Club Nautico. The boat in lane one, San Diego Rowing Club, they're not going to give them any slack. They're coming back on them.
Yeah, this is home court advantage here for San Diego Rowing Club. So expect to see them give a pretty big fight here. But again, as we go in a little bit closer, you see these crews trying to work the ratings up here. Now, when you watch a little bit of later races, you might see crews rowing a little bit higher. But here again, these boats are the Mixed Masters Club 8. So these races, they're pushing themselves pretty hard here. And it's looking like it's paying off for Club Nautico. It looks like they've finally pulled their boat up to maybe about half a length. It looks like in lane one we have San Diego fading just a little bit. switching camera angles here. We're trying to get a good shot.
Something to mention here, Sam, is that also in that first part of the race, the crews get out. They come out very high out of the blocks. It's a start and usually a high 20. That's about 40 to 45 strokes a minute, and then they shift down into their base race stroke rate, which is usually in the mid 30s, 32 to 34. And that's where our crews are now. They're in the base of their race, and this is where the races are fought.
Yeah, yeah, and we're seeing it looks like in lane 4, it looks like Susanville here is holding on to like they're fighting for second and third place. Actually, it looks like they are in second place. It looks like San Diego Rowing Club is in third as Club Nautico tends to they're pulling their bow out here. It looks like they're trying to fight for a little bit of open water, but San Diego's not giving it to them and Susanville's not giving it to them. And again, remember that these races are handicapped. So even though you see these boats out in front, uh, it could be different on paper after the race. You could finish first, but you could also get passed because someone else's handicap time is a little bit more than yours.
Excellent point, Sam. The key to a handicap race is just stay within your boat and row a good race.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah. All right, and here we go. We're coming down the course. It looks like we're coming across the 1,000 up here, coming up. So all these crews basically halfway. We're getting the work done here. It looks like Club Nautico is holding that 3/4 of a length up. We'll see as we go through the buoys here that it looks like both Susanville and San Diego Rowing Club are neck and neck. Unfortunately, they're spread out far apart to where when they're racing each other, they're going to have to look across pretty far. But the other crews are still a little bit farther behind, so they're able to distinguish who they have to race here.
Yeah, we looks like we've pushed through our first half of our race of the mixed Masters Club 8, and again it's that Club Nautico is our leader in lane 2, and it's San Diego Rowing Club and Susanville fighting for that second position. They're like ball to ball. So
Yeah,
that's we've got a boat race here for those first 3 positions.
I was about to say, it looks like Susanville just took the rate up a little bit. San Diego's going to have their hands full. Club Nautico, I guess, is responding. I guess when you cross the 1,000-meter mark, some of that race strategy is to take kind of a building strokes. Usually 10 to 20 building strokes just to put your bow out a little bit. But yeah, as we cross the 1,000 here, all these crews bringing it up a little bit. You can see a little bit of that crosswind now in the background. I don't know if you noticed, but North Ingram Bridge. A little bit of wind comes through there too, but again, these crews look like they're handling it pretty well as the rates come up.
You're, you made a point there at going through that 1,000. The crews usually do a power 10, power 20 there just to reestablish their rhythm, maybe do a ratio shift to get to better swing. And these are good experienced crews. There's a lot of years of experience in these crews, so they all know what they got to do to make their boats feel good. It's a long, grueling race, and you don't want to be going thrashing down the course.
No,
But
no. All right. Yeah, no, I was just going to say we're crossing to the last 750. You can see that flag there. So now these crews should be coming in. If you guys are standing in San Diego on the beach on Crown Point, you should be able to see the first race of the 51st Crew Classic coming down the course now.
and this is just a very well rowed race by Club Nautico. They look smooth, they look comfortable, and they're coming up into that last 250. They're going to be winding it up to try to hold off to the crew in lane 1. That's the San Diego Rowing Club. Lane 4 also pushing their advantage is Susanville Rowing Club. All 3 crews, they are smelling that finish line. They sense it, they want it, and they're going to start winding it up now.
Yeah, you can see the intensity already from San Diego Rowing Club trying to make a push here. Club Nautico, now they have that 3/4 length, but again, it looks like San Diego Rowing Clubs is putting the screws to them and bringing the rate up. Luckily here, San Diego Rowing Club is pushing away from Susanville. Susanville trying to hold on a little bit, but it looks like San Diego Rowing Club has brought the rate up. Now, it looks like Club Nautico might be responding. I'm not 100% sure, but we're running out of runway here. If San Diego Rowing Club is going to make their move, they're going to have to make it now because it looks like Club Nautico is holding on, but San Diego Rowing Club making their push every stroke, moving a little bit closer here.
Last 150 meters. It is Club Nautico holding that first position in lane two. Lane one, San Diego Rowing Club coming on strong and hard for that last 50 meters through the finish line. It's Club Nautico, San Diego Rowing Club, and Susanville Rowing Club. Those are the first three finishers.
Yep. And now we got in fourth place, we got Boulder Community Rowing. It looks like just on inside of them, just on their heels, is Lake Washington Rowing Club. And just behind them, it looks like Marin Rowing Club bringing up the back in sixth place. Again, this is the Mixed Masters Club 8. And just to remind you, I know we keep reminding you, but just remember, just because these boats finish first, second, and third doesn't mean that that's going to be the end result after the handicaps are tallied. All right, now on your screen, it looks like we have our second event of the day. This is going to be the Flight 2. So same event, Mixed Masters Club 8. We have our start right there. Maybe not as clean a start as the first race. Yeah, it looks like we have a little bit of difficulty there in lane 3 from San Diego Rowing Club, but looks like everybody else is kind of taking off a little bit here. It looks like lane 6, maybe a little bit of steering issues off the start. Maybe they didn't anticipate the wind as well as the first group did, but we're off. It looks like the race has started. We're going to get through the first 250 here, trying to help each other out. Yeah, it looks like these crews are pushing each other. It looks like we have lane one and lane two trying to push each other, but we also have lane 4 and lane 5. So again, lane 1, we have Wimbledon Rowing Club. Lane 2, we have Long Beach Rowing. Lane 3, San Diego Rowing Club. Lane 4, Marin Rowing. Lane 5, Crimson Death Barge. And lane 6, Los Gatos Rowing.
Again, this is our second event today. It's a Mixed Masters Club 8, and it's a handicap race. We've mentioned it before that they're racing for first place across the line, but that's not necessarily going to be the finish on
The end
paper.
result, yeah. All right, yeah, it looks like we're starting to come up on the 500 meters here. You know, we've gone through the first 250. Everybody's worked their bugs out a little bit. It looks like all these crews are starting to hum along now. In lane 1, we see Wimble Ball all the way out there in front. We've kind of changed the view a little bit. So again, looks like it's smooth sailing, a little bit of that crosswind, but not enough to make a difference. Looks like these crews are just kind of working their way through it. Looks like we got Los Gatos Rowing. So there we've gone to the back to the big picture. So again, it looks like in lane 5 we have I'm sorry, in lane 4 we have Marin Rowing. Marin Rowing out in lane 4. They're kind of pushing up a little bit. All the way over there in lane 2 we have Wimbledon Rowing. So you can see Marin Rowing and Wimbledon kind of fighting for first place here.
That's right. Wimbledon got out to a good start, but it looks like the the crew from Marin is pushing on them. They're not going to let them have this race. Just going away.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I actually can see in our notes. So it says for Wimbledon, it says Team GB and other clubs, they train on Wimbledon Lake due to its consistently calm waters. So we understand why they showed up in San Diego expecting the same kind of water.
Yeah, they're visiting us there's a group from Canada and the United Kingdom. So welcome to sunny San Diego Mission Bay.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So again, we have Wimbledon. Wimbledon is about half a length up. We have in lane 4, Marin Rowing. Marin Rowing doesn't look like they're going to let go of them all that easily. It looks like all the other crews have kind of moved back a little bit. Lane 5, Crimson Death Barge. Crimson Death Barge is about half a length back on Marin Rowing in lane 4. Marin Rowing about, I'd say, a quarter to a half length back on Wimbledon. But again, these race results as they come across the line isn't what you expect.
Yeah, with these close-ups, we can really see the body language. You know, this crew's rowing comfortably, but that's a rower tell you there's nothing comfortable about it right now. They're just focused and they're disciplined.
Yeah. All right. We got Marin Rowing here. It looks like Marin Rowing is not done. It looks like Wimbledon made their push, but Marin Rowing now kind of making their way back with trying to get their bow ball out in front. But as it is right now, Wimbledon looks like they have a nice, smooth, low rhythm. They're taking their time. They're working on their rowing. Marin Rowing, again, putting the screws to them, a little bit of a higher rate. It still looks pretty clean, but it looks like they're making a little bit more of a push here as we come up to the 1,000-meter mark.
Yeah, Marin took a did a big push to that 1,000-meter mark, and they're just about even with that crew out in lane one or in the near lane to us here on the beach. That's Wimbledon Rowing Club. So as they're coming up to that last half of the race, second half of the race, it's going to be a boat race between those two. It looks like.
Definitely. Yeah, and it looks like Crimson Barge we got from our view here. Crimson Barge trying to come with Marin Rowing. Marin Rowing made that push. It would be smart of Crimson Barge to try to hold on to their stern and get pulled to the finish line here. Wimbleball, again, another strong start, but it looks like, maybe they're responding, maybe they aren't. It's kind of tough to tell right now. But as we come into the finish here, it looks like it might be a close race between Marin Rowing and Wimbleball. We're hoping that Crimson Death Barge can pull up a little bit. We can see in the back of the screen there, we have Long Beach Rowing and San Diego Rowing Club in between lane 1 and lane 4. So right now they're trying to push each other in the back there a little bit. But right now out in front, it looks like Wimbleball's not backing down for Marin. Looks like Marin's making the push, but Wimbleball is responding.
Yes, less than 750 to go, pushing up to that last 500 meters. Wimbledon was challenged by Marin, but now they have reestablished themselves dominantly in that first lane, and it looks like they're gonna put quite a push on here for the final 500. It's gonna take a lot for Marin to come back. We'll see how this ends up.
Yeah, no, and these ratings it too. With coming into like the last ending of the race, it's always characteristic of these crews to bring the rate up and try to push themselves a little bit more. 2,000 meters, these races, 6 to 8 minutes long are no small feat. So, as Matt was saying earlier, these athletes, it looks like it's smooth. It looks like they're getting it done, but I'm pretty sure there's some heavy breathing and some praying going on in there right now. As we come into the last 500 and the pain starts to set in, it looks like the water's pretty flat, so it might be a drag race. But yeah, Wimbleball again establishing their lead here. It looks like they saw that Marin Rowing had pulled up even and just pulled away again. Marin still not out of it, but it looks like who is this in lane 5? Crimson Death Barge maybe smelling blood in the water. Here coming into the last 250, as everybody here on the beach can start looking out the race again. We have in lane 1 Wimbleball out in front. We have in lane 4 Marin Rowing Club. Then we have in lane 5 Crimson Death Barge coming in here into the last 250. Last 250. All right. So now all these coxswains. So each one of these eights has a little person in the back of the boat, a coxswain who's steering the boat, making the calls. Right now, it looks like the coxswains are telling Wimbleball to go ahead and bring the rate up a little bit, not super high, while the coxswain in San Diego, I'm sorry, in Marin Rowing, it looks like they're bringing the rate up a little bit more here. Yeah, Wimbleball nice and smooth. Marin Rowing definitely cranking it up here. Looks like Crimson Death Barge right on their heels. But again, Wimbleball with that bit of a lead that they had built up during the race, looks like they're holding on to it well. It's getting real close here. We're coming down to the last few strokes here. Wimbleball looks like they've got their lead about 3 strokes up. 3 seats up on Marin Rowing. Marin Rowing second place to Crimson Death Barge. Crimson Death Barge crossing around in third place. Now, again, these races are handicapped, so even though these top 3 boats have finished with open water back to the other boats still have a handicap.
And again, those are the first 3 crews across the line. They will move into the final tomorrow. So they have to do this again tomorrow and see who comes out on top of all the top 6 finishers of today's heats.
All right, just Long Beach Rowing in lane 2. Long Beach Rowing in fourth place, just crossing. And now out in lane 6, Los Gatos Rowing. Los Gatos coming across the line. There you go, Los Gatos. Congratulations. All right. Another successful race in the books.
Nicely done.
Yeah, tough fought. All right. Ooh. All right. And here we got in lane 3, we got San Diego Rowing Club. Again, with these handicaps, it can be tricky. I've seen races with like a minute and a half handicap. So here we go, looking sharp, coming across the line. San Diego Rowing Club. Again, home course advantage in Mission Bay. Lane 3, San Diego Rowing Club.
Okay, this is race number 3 today, event 160. This is a straight final. It's the Mixed Masters 8. This one is a handicap race, but the irony here is both both crews have the same handicap time, so this is a head-to-head race for all intents and purposes. So both crews now well out of their blocks. In lane 1, we have the U.S. Rowing Masters camp, and lane 2, we have the U.S. Rowing Masters camp. So these crews are very familiar with each other.
Yeah, I imagine these boats know each other very well. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but a couple of guys in each one of these boats keep looking across. So I imagine there's a little bit on at stake for this race. But as Matt mentioned, both boats have the same handicap, unfortunately. So no one has an advantage here. It's just what you see on your screen is what you get. Now both these boats, it looks like they're dealing a little bit with the wind, unfortunately, but now, as we get into flatter water, maybe a little bit of wake, but as we get into flatter water, let's see these crews. Let's see how they level out a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like they got out of the blocks pretty well and well through that first 250 meters, which has been a little tricky today with that northwest quartering wind coming through that South Ingram Bridge. But now they're into some smoother waters and they can have some fun now. They've settled into their race pace. And of course, and Sam mentioned, yeah, these guys know each other, and they're looking out of the side of their eyes, saying, they're not going to let each other
Yeah, no one
press their advantages here.
doesn't look like anybody's getting away cleanly here. Like I said, both these boats are looking at each other. It looks like the boat in lane two just pulled up a little bit. Lane one was ahead, but now lane one is gonna have to push a little bit harder to get back into lane two. From this vantage point, obviously we can see the rowing. You can see the water's going to get a little bit roughed up here. So again, expect a little bit more action out of both these crews. These crews have basically been side by side the whole way down the course. So we'll see if somebody's going to be able to separate themselves here.
Yeah, on the screen we can see them going through that first orange flag. That's the first 500-meter mark. This is where the lungs start burning, and now you got to kick into your training kicks in. So this is the probably the hardest part of the race, between the 500 and the 1500-meter mark. This is where races are won and lost, and both crews are hanging. This is really a good boat race. The crew in lane 1 is pushed back. They were down by about 5 or 6 seats. They've come back. They're only down a couple seats now, as we can see in our overhead view here from that wonderful drone shot.
Yeah, yeah. No, it looks like it's going to be a drag race. Again, a little bit of bumpy water, so it looks like both crews are handling it though. Again, we're well into the race here, so both crews, their hearts are racing. Your heart rate's probably 180 to 200. You're definitely kind of breathing hard on the person in front of you, but both crews are having to deal with the same conditions here. Yeah, you see them struggle through the water a little bit, and as I said, both crews are probably getting a little tired here because they know that no one has the advantage. It's just a straight up boat race. So, really excited to see how this turns out as we come into the home stretch here. You'll see these crews bring the rate up a little bit. I believe, from the beginning of the race, this does look a little bit more rigid than it was before. It looks like each one of these crews, maybe the technique's falling off a little bit as they get tired, but definitely expect them to see pushing each other all the way to the line.
Yeah, yeah, Sam. They're in that final stretch, and our positions haven't changed much yet. But you can see these crews preparing for that last 250, 200 meters of the race. These coxswains they're prepping their crews right now. They're talking to them, say, getting ready. We're going to go into our windup, and they'll take it from their base race. They'll take it up a couple strokes every 10 strokes, and they'll be, by the time going from a base race rate of about 32, they should be finishing at about 36, 38 coming across our finish line.
Yeah. And as a coach, I would have to comment if I were to talk to these crews before the race, I would try to tell them as you come into the end of the race, try to sit up a little bit, keep your head up. As you get tired, try to not to slump down a little bit. You see a couple people in these crews starting to slump a little bit, the head dropping down, the body curving over. At the end of the race, you want to sit up and make sure you get the air, get the oxygen, you're able to sit up. Because when the stroke seat, the guy in the back of the boat sitting in front of the coxswain who's steering, once he starts bringing the rate up, you don't want to be slumped down. You don't want to be breathing hard. You want to be sitting up and kind of bringing the rate up with the crew.
Good point. Posture keeps helps your breathing, helps your focus, and this is where you have to focus. This is where you dig that
Yeah.
last 250,
Yep.
and they surely look like they're digging.
Yep. It looks like lane two still has that half to a three-quarters length on lane one, but lane one is certainly not giving up. We're going to be coming down by the beach here. As you can see, we're coming along the shoreline. We're starting to see the San Diego Crew Classic setup here at the finish line. So if you're here on the beach, you might want to come down and start cheering these people on. Now again, um, this looks like this is U.S. Rowing. It looks like these are military, maybe ex-military uh, veterans. So maybe I think that's what this race is. So again, come down to the shoreline. Let's cheer them on. Let's make sure that they're all the way to the finish line here.
Yes, and this is where they're pushing now. They've brought the rating up. They're in their last 200 meters. They can feel the finish line. Their coxswain's pushing them on. They all know what they got to do here. It's that last 30 strokes, and each one long, hard compression.
Yep. And it looks like everybody's trying to empty the tank here. Lane one, yeah, trying to make their push, but lane two may just have too much of a lead to make it back here. But yeah, lane two out in front again, that half length. Lane one bringing the rate up a little bit, trying to make that little push. Lane two responding by also bringing the rate up. So yeah, here we come. We got the last few strokes here. Again, handicaps are even, so this is a straight boat race.
And it looks like our crew in lane two is they've they've held the lead through the whole race, and
Yep.
they're going to finish in that position. Lane two's our
So lane two,
winner,
yeah,
and
lane two
lane
takes
one.
it. Yeah.
And
So there we go.
there you have it.
Well fought race. Two boat race, two boat final. Pretty tough race, guys.
Well
Congratulations.
done.
Yeah. Thank you for your
Nicely done.
service. I know. I think this. All right. Race number 4, event 15. This is the Mixed Masters Intermediate Club 8. For those watching online and for those here at the beach, you can see again that little bit of crosswind pulling those crews around. So you're going to see, so it looks like you can see in the closest crew to us, two seat takes bow seat and they try to row it around a little bit.
Bring it over.
They might have gotten a little too far. So what they're going to do is they're going to come off the start boat and try to realign their boat just because their bow's been turned too much. But again, if you watch, yeah, you can see in the other boats, two seat takes the orphan bow seat and tries to row the boat around to make sure that it's aimed correctly straight down the course when they yell start. Now we're having some difficulty here. It looks like in lane 4. Lane 4 is going to need to figure this out soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that does not look good for lane 4.
the wind has picked up, and it's getting stronger coming from the northwest. So it's really going to be challenging to get these boats lined up, and that once these crews get backed into their blocks, it's challenging to keep it pointed up course until all four are aligned.
All right. All right, and as they try to get that crew back out in the starting blocks and realign, we'll go through the crews here real quickly. So in
Yeah.
lane 1,
Lane one, that would be the lane closest to the bridge for those looking on.
yeah. So you can see in the starting blocks on the boats right here, they have the numbers on those flags. So lane 5 closest to us, lane 1 farthest away from us. So again, lane 1 will be East Bay Rowing Club, lane 2 San Diego Rowing Club, lane 3 Community Rowing, lane 4 Los Angeles Rowing Club. So again, trying to get lane 4 back into the starting blocks. Yeah, it looks like the officials are helping out here.
Yeah, this is real challenging, this crosswind. So I'm glad they have the officials pulling that fourth crew over to their starting block.
Yeah. And again, for all those watching, I know we've gone through which races are handicapped or not. This race is handicapped. The Mixed Masters Intermediate Club 8 will be handicapped. All right. Looks like we got lane 4 reattached. I wouldn't be surprised. Looks like the winds died down just for this split second. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do a quick start here. Once that official gets out of there, they'll try to get all the boats aligned and they'll try to get these boats out of the blocks before this before they start getting skewed again. All right, looks like Los Angeles isn't taking a chance on this next one. Looks like they're aimed pretty
They're
well in
they're gonna let
the opposite direction.
they're gonna let the wind drift
Yeah,
it back, and then
yeah. I don't think they're interested in doing what they just did again. So, uh, hopefully, we'll see everybody perfectly aligned for the start. All right. Again, in lane one, we've got East Bay rowing. Lane two, you're seeing San Diego rowing, and lane three, community rowing. Now we're trying to get community rowing to bring it around. Yeah, again, you see two seat trying to what they call scull the bow seats or around. So you're trying to bring the bow back around in front of the boat so you're aimed straight down the course. Yeah, now the trick is to when they start pulling the boats and making the starting call, you don't want two seat to have bow seats or so. The trick is to overcompensate a little bit and try to time it out right so that when they say go, everybody's got their own oar and everybody can basically be aimed down the course.
all those little things we call part of boat racing.
Yeah,
Handing that oar back to your bowman.
yeah. All right. As you can see, it looks like most boats we're getting it here. Looks like lane three community rowing. Yeah, they're trying to bring it around a little bit. They've got four seat trying to scull their oar around a little bit.
Again, this is my favorite part of the race because this is strategy, technique, experience. You get
Yeah, as Matt mentioned in lane one, or I'm sorry, in the first race, the start is very important. The first 250, I wouldn't say it can make or break your race, but it can definitely make it a lot harder if you don't have a good start. All right, so now we have community rowing overcompensating a little bit with their point. Lane four, Los Angeles. Hopefully, we see them corrected a little bit. Hopefully, all crews across, we can get a little bit better movement here so we're all ready at the same time. The problem that can happen is as one crew is adjusting their point. Oh, all right.
another thing that they do when the officials may do with a situation like this when they're having a hard time taking way too much time to line them up. They'll say to heck with it. We're going to do a countdown start, and the crews have to have their boats pointed by the time they start at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and so on. And when they get down to one, the starter's going to say attention, go, whether you're pointed in the right direction or not.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be here all day.
And the probably that's the exact thing. The problem is we're seeing crews, some are ready, some aren't, and when the crews that aren't ready are ready, the crews that were ready will not be ready. So trying to get everybody. It looks like we've got a good start. Everybody's sitting ready. If I were the guy at the starting line, I'd be yelling "Go!" anytime now just to try and get this race going. There's a lot of adjusting. Yeah, he's got everything perfect. It looks like the officials' launches are pulling up. Yeah, here we go. All right.
There we go.
There we go. Up a little bit of trouble from lane three, community rowing. Looks like community rowing bobbling the strokes a little bit. Yep. Looks like Los Angeles. They had a somewhat of a clean start. Looks like San Diego swerved around a little bit. Looks like all boats across are having to adjust their point a little bit. If it looks like on your screen they're somewhat pointed at each other, that's not an optical illusion. That is them trying to adjust their points and getting everything underway here.
But you can see that wind sweeping almost directly across their port gunnels, so it's really pushing them towards from west to east, and from our on our picture left to right.
All right, now you're seeing that wind. Yeah, from that view, you're seeing that wind a little bit. So all these crews, again, first 250, you're trying to get the boat started, trying to get momentum, trying to get your bow out there. But at the same time, these coxswains are trying to get their points straight, trying to get a straight line down the course. You know, the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And right now we're seeing some of these coxswains struggle with that.
Yeah, and as we get through that first 200 meters, which have been very challenging for all those four crews, lane one is East Bay Rowing Club, and lane two San Diego Rowing Club. San Diego Rowing Club seems to have that third. They're battling for the second place with the outside crew, Los Angeles Rowing Club. Lane three, we have Community Rowing Club, and out in lane four, near lane to us, is Los Angeles Rowing Club. And
Yeah, yeah, and again, for a mixed masters intermediate club race, this should be a pretty tight race. This looks like coming down here, coming up to the 500, we still have four boats across.
and they look good. They are now they're coming into some nicer water. They don't have so much. They got some protection from the shore along Crown Point from Ski Beach. We call that. It's giving them some. They're in the lee of the shore, protecting them from that northwest westerly wind. So they should have some good racing, good conditions for the next 750 meters.
Yep, and as we see the water get flatter, hopefully these margins, I imagine, are staying the same. It doesn't look like any of these crews are backing down. Now, again, stroke rating nice and smooth. Again, with bumpy water like this, you don't want to bring the rate up too much and have dirty rowing. You want nice, clean rowing. You know, some of these crews you can see a little bit of water getting kicked up. That's going to slow your boat down. You know, you want your blade going in the water cleanly. You want it coming out cleanly. So
Good point.
it looks like lane 1, East Bay, and lane 2, San Diego Rowing Club. Again, San Diego Rowing Club having the home court advantage is now fighting in second place with Los Angeles. It looks like lane 1, East Bay, is finally breaking loose a little bit. Again, this race is handicapped, so even if they cross the line first, doesn't mean they won. But as they're racing, you know, pulling your boat out in front will give you, you know, a better feeling. It'll make it a little bit smoother. It'll be a little bit easier because you have all the crews behind you. You can see them. Whereas the crews racing from behind, yeah, they're facing backwards. They're not going to be able to see who leads the race.
Yeah, this is a mixed masters intermediate. Intermediate suggesting that not a lot not they're not real seasoned rowers. They're fairly new, but they're not novices. So this is an exciting race for these four crews. It's and they're handling these conditions very well. Right now, lane one is our leader. That's East Bay Rowing Club. And it's been a kind of battle for that second position. But right now, the crew out in lane four, the near lane to us in our picture is Los Angeles Rowing Club. And San Diego Rowing Club is in that third position, followed by Community Rowing in lane three. But as they're well through their first 750 meters, and they're staying. It's a fairly tight pack. This is a good boat race.
Yeah, and as Matt said, the intermediate. So these aren't well seasoned rowers. So this may be their first time racing in these conditions. You never know, which is really tough. Just because if it's not perfectly flat, it's not going to be perfectly clean. So you can see these boats every once in a while, just maybe a bad stroke here or there, but you're trying to minimize that. Now it looks like in lane 1 again. Lane 1 has the lead, but they're not open water open. It looks like lane 4, Los Angeles, is making their push. We're coming up on that 1,000-meter mark here. So it looks like everybody's going to start making their push for the second 1,000 meters. As you can see, the water, they're coming back out in the water. So the intermediate rowers, again, trying to be as clean as possible through bad water.
Yeah, this is exciting for them. This is a big regatta. This is
Exciting for us, too. Yeah, it's
exciting.
exciting and
Exactly.
fun to
This
watch.
is a good boat race. They're tightly packed. Yeah, and yeah, well said. And lane one is, they've rowed a clean race, but then again, they have the advantage of having the most protected lane. The crew in lane two is doing really well. That's San Diego Rowing Club. That's our hometown crew. They've stayed in this battle, and they're not going to let lane one get out too much in front of them.
Yeah.
But we got into that next windy portion where we got the North Ingram Bridge, and we got a lot of wind coming through. We'll see. They're gonna see how these crews handle this windy condition before they come into their last 250.
Yeah, it'd be real interesting to see how they hold on. Now, again, the second half of the race, now everybody's getting a little tired, trying to tell everybody, tells you these coxswains, the little people in the back of the boat trying to steer the boat and make the calls. They're telling their crews, all right, here comes the water. Everybody sit up a little bit, try to be a little bit cleaner, try to row a little bit better because that's going to help you win the race. You know, if you're going to make a move here, I believe once we get our camera angle back, we might see a little bit of overlap with lane 1. I may be wrong at the angle that we're looking at, but we might start seeing lane 2, San Diego Rowing Club and Los Angeles, and Community Rowing is still coming up the back. Like I said, there's a lot of contact among all four crews, but looks like lane 1 might be getting caught a little bit here, as it looks like San Diego and Los Angeles have pulled back at least to a length as we go back here. Yeah, Los Angeles now in second place by maybe a deck length, maybe half a deck. San Diego right behind them. Again, their bow right behind them. And then in fourth place in lane 3, Community Rowing. Now again, just because they cross the line in this order does not mean that's the order they finish in. But for right now, all these crews are really trying to put the screws to each other and try to get their bow ball out in front.
This has been a fun race to watch.
Yeah.
Again, we have contact between all four crews, and they're all within 3 to 4 seats of each other. This is the type of racing rowers like to be in. They want to. It's fun to look across and see all the other boats right next to you.
Yeah, and if I were in these crews, I'd be trying to hype each other up. Again, with everybody so close, there's a lot of intensity, a lot of adrenaline, but you're coming into the end of the race. It's all about who can hold on to it for the longest. You know, again, your heart rate 180 to 200 beats a minute. It's like 7, 8 minutes long. So you really got to sit up and really got to push each other. Once it starts getting nasty and the rowing comes off, it's going to be a lot harder. But it looks like these crews are actually pulling it together and speeding up. I don't know if I can say lane one is slowing down. I think all the other lanes, lanes 2, lanes 4, lanes 3, they're all speeding up, trying to catch up with East Bay Rowing in lane 1.
Yeah, impressed with the crew from San Diego in lane two. They've moved up 4 seats on
Huge
lane one in
push.
the last 200 meters, and now they're coming up on their final push. We're coming up on that last 250. This is a dogfight right here.
Yeah, yeah.
This is an exciting race. So in lane one, by about a seat or two, they're our leader. But lane two, San Diego Rowing Club is pushing hard, and they're trying to push their advantage through. And on lane four, it's that Los Angeles Rowing Club pushing up in that third position. And lane three, Community Rowing, they're also in the hunt for a place for that first three positions.
I was going to say lane 3 doing a great job community rowing this whole way through. They've been stuck in that fourth place, not by much, but still a little bit behind all the other boats, and they've still been able to push it through here all the way to the finish line. Now again, we're seeing these crews start to level out as we come into the tents and we come into this last 100 meters or so. But if you want to look out on the beach, you might get a photo finish here with all the crews. It
Yeah,
looks
it's
like, yeah, lane 1, lane 2, and lane 4 are all the way or straight across.
yeah, and as we come into that last 100 meters, it's the crew in lane one by about a seat on the crew in lane two, San Diego Rowing Club, holding that second position, but trying to push their bow ball across first. And an outside lane, which is nearer to us in our picture, that's Los Angeles Rowing Club. Yes, I don't know
Yep.
if you can hear it, but the finish line horn was like a beep, beep, beep. Four
Yeah.
different, that's how close the race was.
That's going to be a photo finish. Yeah, you can see it on their faces too as they cross the line. Everybody kind of wobbling around, head up in there. That was a tough
What a
fought
race.
race.
Well done, Cruz.
Very tough,
Thank you
tough
for
race.
quite a race to watch.
Yeah, that was a great race. All right. So that was the result. That was the Mixed Masters Intermediate Club 8. Oh, all right. Next, we have race number 5, event 13. This is the Mixed Masters Club Novice 8. And now it looks like we have a quick start. Now, again, what you're looking at on your screen, I'm going to explain here real quick, is a quick start. Now, that last race, because we had to have the crews adjust so much, what they're going to do now is the second they have a lineup, whether the race was supposed to start in 2 minutes or 3 minutes, they're just going to start the crews as soon as they're both lined up. So, what you just saw there was basically a bunch of novices trying to get together. It's like when somebody yells go and you're not ready. It looks like that's what happened here with lane 2. Again, we're going to kind of see these crews wobble around, but again, this is the novice race. So Matt will explain to you what the novice means.
Yeah, novice. This is and impressive. I mean, most a novice rower is a first year rower. This is probably their first race ever, and I'm impressed by how well they're doing, getting with these conditions and in their first race ever.
Yeah,
But
you can definitely see him wobbling around there, right?
yeah, but how exciting for them. I can remember my first race, and
Yeah,
yeah, that was a few years ago.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, we're pulling through this water right now. So they're actually doing pretty well. Like Matt said, these crews are not doing horribly. This may be their first race, but again, sometimes you just get, the deer in headlights. When they yell go, you saw a bunch of those kids trying to scramble to get back together. Oh, looks like we got a crab here. Looks like we have 4 seat in lane 1. That's East Bay Rowing Club. Looks like they accidentally caught a crab. What that means is the oar gets stuck in the water and the handle swings back and hits the rower. But as you saw on your screen, the oar gets stuck in the water. So not exactly something that's going to increase speed or get you going. So hopefully that crew in lane one, East Bay Rowing, can get their boat going here. Yeah, just go ahead and start rowing, guys. Don't try to get your point. Go ahead, just pick it back up here.
Now, that's unfortunate. It happens, but we call that a boat stopper. But the thing is, you pick yourself back up and get back in the game.
Yeah. No, that's a true novice race right there. You know, stuff like this happens every once in a while. But um they were able to recover from it. It looks like they're back to rowing. And again, it's your first race. You know, there's a lot of expectations, but very rarely are they always met on the on the first race.
Well,
So
it's you got to hand it to them,
yeah, no, they're handling it great. I think this crew in lane two. So we have a Los Angeles Rowing Club in lane two out of Marina Del Rey. They've just kind of been now they're out in front, so they have a nice little lead. So if I was the coxswain in this crew, again, it looks like they're keeping the rate up, but it looks like nice, clean rowing. They're not going to be pushing it too hard. They don't want to catch a crab as well and kind of return the favor to East Bay. So it looks like their coxswain's telling them to maybe bring it down a stroke rate and try to relax the rowing a little bit. Try to stay sharp. Yeah. When you're out in front like this, it's a nice little feeling when you can see the crew behind you and kind of relax a little bit.
That's the key. Relax, whether you're behind or you're ahead. But that's something you learn with racing. So it's easy for us to say relax and sit up straight and be calm. We're not down in the heat of the battle in our first race. But good for them. We got the crew from Los Angeles has recovered. They're coming back, as you can see in our screen. They're back in the game, and they're pushing through. They're not giving up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like East Bay. Yeah, again, East Bay is coming across the thousand here. Los Angeles Rowing Club again, nice and steady, nice easy stroke rate. Again, they don't want to catch a crab. Their one thing here is you don't want to mess up. When you get a lead like this, you just want it nice and smooth. The only thing about East Bay that you want to do is you want to have your A race. You want to definitely your first race. You definitely want to end it well. So I hope East Bay is going to bring it up here. It looks like from a distance, it looks like they're powering it across that 500-meter mark right there, and they're going to be bringing it in here along the beach here shortly.
Yeah, we got both crews are now in the final 1,000 meters. In the near lane in our view is lane two. That's Los Angeles Rowing Club. They are rowing comfortably down the course. They're pushing through to that last 500. They got 750 to go at this point. They just pushed through the 1250 mark.
Yeah,
And as Sam said, he was hoping that crew and recovered well. East Bay did, and they have. They've stayed in the game. They're maintaining the distance. They might have even picked up on Los Angeles Rowing Club, which that's they're
would be
they're going to make a race out of it.
yeah. Yeah, no, and as a novice race, I'm glad, you know, like getting the first one out of the way, it's always something that you can look back on and maybe laugh about. But yeah, no, I'm glad to see that they're still in the game. So coming here, last home stretch, we have Los Angeles Rowing Club in lane two. Their stroke rate, again, not super high just because they don't want to catch a crab, don't want to do anything wrong. You know, you just want to get across the line, make sure that your coach doesn't yell at you and you have a good race.
Yeah, they look good, and they're in their final sprint, and they're getting ready to hear that finish line horn and take a deep long. There it is. They
There
cross
you
the
go.
line. That's lane Lane two, Los Angeles Rowing Club, first across our line. However, we do have a handicap to apply for our official race results.
Yeah, and so and something I noticed too, this crew didn't stop at the finish line. They rode about 5 strokes through the finish line. So as a novice coach, I remember telling the crews, don't ever stop at the finish line. Row through the finish line. So glad to see those guys.
Uh, well coached.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't stop. So all right, then we got East Bay coming in here again. East Bay making their push. Yep, looks like they brought the rate up a little bit. Again, staying clean. Just trying to get that first race under their belt. There you go. Yep. And trying to hold on to length, trying to, yeah, it gets really intense there in the last couple meters here. Trying to sit up, trying to keep that oar in the water. You don't want to be pushing the oar around. You don't want to push a lot of water around. You want to try and stay connected. All right, we got lane one, East Bay Rowing. Again, the event, race number 5, event 13 final. Mixed Masters Club Novice 8.
Nicely done. Okay, this is race number 6, event number 5, final. It's the women's Masters D8. In lane 1, we have the Steering Right LLC, Toronto Sculling Clubs in lane 2.
It's steer you right,
Yeah,
steering you
no,
right.
steer you right. Check that. Lane 1, steering you right Rowing Club. Lane 2, Toronto Sculling Club. Lane 3, Long Beach Rowing Association. Lane 4, Texas Rowing Center. And Lane 5, East Bay Rowing Club. As we see, we just picking up the start. Our crews are through that first 200 meters. Looks like we got through that first 100-meter breakage point. All crews trying to handle that little bit of wash getting through that first 250 meters. Again, this is the Women's Masters D8.
Yep. Yeah, and so as you see them coming through the water again, so we were talking about this earlier about handicap races, not handicap. This is not a handicapped race. So this race, what you see is what you get. This is the final, so whoever crosses first will be first place. I do want to make a comment. Now, I myself have been a sculler since a young age. I saw that in lane 2, Toronto Sculling Club is now out and ahead. So I would just like to mention the scullers rowing an 8 are winning the race.
I was waiting for that one. Spoken like a true sculler.
There you go.
But typically, if you can scull, you should be able to put it. If you put 2 oars in the water, you should be able to put 1 in. Correct?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you see in lane 2, the scullers, the Toronto Sculling Club in lane 2, they've got a little bit of open water over steering you right. In lane, might have to shorten that, but in lane 1, steering you right, LLC is about a length back on them. You can see, yeah, it's a little bit, and then in lane 3, Long Beach, yeah, Long Beach looks like they're uh, they're raising their rate a little bit as well.
Yep. Yeah. That
Yeah,
just like you did with that
it looks
that
like
that
yeah, it
crew in
looks like
lane 2 has taken the commanding lead as they cross that 1,500-meter mark. They're pushing to that final 500 now, and they're being chased by the crew in lane 2, steering you right, and lane 3, Long Beach Rowing
oh,
Association.
4, you mean
Lane 4,
lane 4,
check
you're
that.
right.
Lane 4 is our third place position. Again, like Sam mentioned, this is a non-handicap. This will be a straight up first crew across is your winner in that order. And this is the Women's Masters D8. And as you can see on our screen, that crew in lane 2, they've taken a commanding lead. Toronto Sculling Club. They are
Yeah,
getting, yeah.
they're looking strong. No, it looks like we've talked about stroke rating, we've talked about being clean. It looks like this crew's got it all. It looks like they're rowing cleanly. Their blades aren't kicking around a whole lot. As compared to that race that we just watched with the novices, this is kind of a breath of fresh air. You're seeing these crews move at speed with nice clean rowing. It looks like these Toronto scullers are definitely taking off here. Lane 1, steering you right, is definitely trying to make a move here at the end. Again, there's a bit of open water between first place and second place, but again, these other crews are still pushing for that second, third place because this is a straight final. There is no handicap here. What you see is what you get.
Yeah, and that Toronto crew is our race leader at this point, our last 250. That's Toronto in lane 2. In the near lane to the shore, that's Steer You Right crew.
Yeah, and we're
And
gonna
our third place crew is Long Beach Rowing Association lane 3.
Yeah, so we just got Toronto Sculling crossing the line first. We have a lot of open water here, but again, second and third place, we've got a fight here between Steering You Right and Texas Rowing Center. So Texas Rowing Center looks like they pulled up a little bit, but we are trying to see as the angle comes across. Looks like Texas Rowing Center has pulled ahead of Steering You Right. Looks like Steering You Right is trying to fight to get back in that second place, but just ran out of room. Looks like Texas Rowing Club just edged them out for second place. Looks like in third place, yeah, that Steering You Right LLC.
That was a good boat race.
And here we go. We have the other boats coming back up. Again, a tough race. Again, the Women's Masters D8, the Waddell and Reed Cup. Talk about the cup. Are we supposed to do that? We have the sheets. No. All right, and we just had, who is this? We just had East Bay Club, East Bay Club, all the way out in lane 5. East Bay Club just finished. Now we have, this is, looks like Long Beach Rowing Association in lane 3. Long Beach Rowing Association coming across the line. Again, what you see, what you get is for results. All right. Now we have our next race, race number 7, event 10 final. The Men's Masters D8, the Founders Trophy. Again, this is ages 50 to 54.
Yeah, in lane 1 we got ex Nemo Rowing Club. They're from our East Coast. Might be that Cambridge area, right? They wear crimson. And then they got the in lane 2 the Evergreen Boat Club.
All right, so it looks like we have a pretty solid start here. Both crews, looks like lane 1, ex Nemo, isn't taking any chances here. Looks like they've moved out. In lane 2, now there's a little bit of separation, which makes me believe that there was a little bit of foul play at the start. Maybe not completely straight line out of lane 2. Lane 2 may have had kind of a wobbly start, but all right, we got lane 2, Evergreen Rowing Club, crossing the finish line. So again, lane 1, ex Nemo Rowing, had about a little bit of open water there at the end over Evergreen Boat Club in lane 2. So what's your, yeah. So we just got an update with that last race. Sorry about that. It was a little bit of a quicker start. So this one, we're going on. Now we have race number 8, event number 8, heat 1. So again, there's going to be a couple heats here, but this is the Men's Masters Club 4X. So again, sculling. This is what I was just talking about a little bit. Yeah, this is where Mark's laughing because I'm smiling from ear to ear because finally we have sculling events. When I started seeing sculling events come to the San Diego Crew Classic, I got excited because I love sculling so much. You're going to see these crews, even though there's 4 of them, they're going to be moving at a top end speed that's not far off of an 8, but not quite as fast as an 8.
Yeah, the sculling, of course, 2 oars, 4, and these are uncoxed. These cox boats. These are steered by the
The rowers themselves, yeah.
oarsman in the bow seat. He or she is steering this course as well as rowing. So there's a lot of gamemanship in sculling, especially in the quad. Quad's a very fast shell to row.
Yeah.
It's fast, it's nimble, and it's very responsive.
And on your screen, I believe you could just see lanes 3, 4, and 5. Now, what Matt mentioned is that these boats do not have coxswains. They do not have someone that sits in the boat and steers it. The person steering the boat is the person rowing in the bow seat of that boat. So when you see these boats come close to each other, you see a lot of the guys in the bow seat. That's the guy in the front of the boat looking side to side and talking to each other. If I was out there, I'd be yelling at the other guys to get out of my way and like move over or something like that. But here, it looks like they're being a little bit more humble. So in lane 1, we have Texas Rowing Center. Lane 2, we have Cambridge Boat Club. Lane 3, we have San Diego Rowing Club. Lane 4, we have Long Beach Rowing Association. Lane 5, Lake Merritt Rowing Club. And lane 6, East Bay Rowing Club. And lane 7, River City Rowing Club. So 7 boats in this race. Yeah, you can see across. There's lots of boats in the screen. But again, we have Texas Rowing Center. They row on Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas, all the way out there in lane 1 on your screen, farthest away from us. Yeah, looks like they have a lead. Looks like we have, uh, I can't tell if that's lane 6 or 7, but we have a crew all the way out here on the edge, kind of pushing. I believe that's lane 7. I believe that's River City Rowing. Looks like River City Rowing making a push out here. Nice, smooth rowing. Yeah, nice, easy, like not too dirty. And then in 3, lane 2, we have Cambridge Boat Club in 3rd place. So again, a little bit of overlap. I know there's a lot of water between those two, but as we come through the buoys, yeah, you can see lane 7, River City, is about half a length up on lane 2, Cambridge Boat Club. Cambridge Boat Club, again, rowing as clean as River City, but trying to put the screws to them just a little bit behind. Looks like lane 1, Texas Rowing Center is trying to make their open water push here uh, to try and get away from River City all the way out here in lane 7.
So this being a handicap race, it's also a heat race. So what we have here is we're going to have to apply the first three finishers by the handicap will go to tomorrow's finals. So two things: one, the first person across the line, not necessarily our winner, or could not be until the handicap's applied, and we're going to take the top three finishers after handicap applied to go to tomorrow's final.
All right, here we go. Again, we have Texas Rowing Center in lane 1. Texas Rowing Center well out in front here. So Texas Rowing Center has a little bit of open water as we're coming up on the last 1,000 meters. Yeah, we're into the 1,000 meters, and we have looks like Lane 7 is now pushed up a little bit. Lane 2 holding on. Cambridge Boat Club now holding on to the back of Lane 7, River City. Now we actually in 4th, 5th, and 6th, we have a little bit of a dogfight here. We have some crews trying to push each other. It looks like San Diego Rowing Club in Lane 3 may have their bow ball tied up with Lane 6, East Bay Rowing Club. I'm sorry, that looks like Lake Merritt Rowing Club, and then right in the middle we have Long Beach Rowing Association. So again, San Diego Rowing Club fighting with Lake Merritt here with Long Beach Rowing Association right on their tail, fighting for that 4th place. You know, it's still a lot of racing left. We have about 750 here. You can see it gets a little bit choppy. That bow seat's going to have to steer his toe a little bit to port side to make up for the wind a little bit. But yeah, as we come into the last stretch here, it's still anybody's game. You know, I think Texas Rowing Club is still, they're still out in front. I don't think anybody's going to be really catching them unless we see something go wrong here. But between River City and Cambridge Boat Club, it looks like we might have a little bit of a closer race than we anticipated.
Yeah, well put. It's like that that crew from Texas Rowing Center, they have a comfortable lead. However, those middle two crews, the Cambridge Boat Club and our crew from
River City.
River City, they're also trying to get back in the hunt. But I think the real boat race there is for that second and third position on our screen. That's Cambridge and River City. And I think Texas is going to finish this race comfortably in the lead because we've just crossed our 1,500-meter mark. This is where the crews are going to start grinding. They're going to
Yeah.
row comfortably for the next couple hundred meters, and they're going to wind it up. They're going to put their wind up and push across that finish line.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in the eights races, usually coxswains who are steering the boat and calling the crews, they're going to call their crews up here at the end. They're going to bring the rate up. You're going to make that last little push. Now it looks like a little bit of strategy. If I was in that Texas rowing boat, I would just kind of keep the rate the same, try to stay nice and cool. You don't want anything going wrong. You don't want to screw that lead up. But between Cambridge and River City, yeah, you're going to see them push each other a little bit here. You're going to see that rate go up. You can see maybe a little bit worse rowing, heads moving around a little bit, bodies shifting around a little. Again, these crews are fatigued. They're trying to finish the race here, trying to squeeze that last little bit out
They're
before
all
they get to the finish line.
These are all seasoned crews. They know where they want to be in the race. They know the race they want. They need the row. They know their handicap. They all have their racing strategy. There's a lot of years of experience in each of these quads. So it's fun boat racing. It's very strategic boat racing.
All right, here we come, home stretch. We got Texas Rowing Center again, all the way over there in lane 1. Looks like River City out in lane 7 has made their push and put their bow ball. It looks like they probably, as they come through these buoys, we can tell how much they have. They probably have about a little bit of open water here on lane 2. Lane 2, we have Cambridge Boat Club. Again, just in that third position, as Matt said, top 3 here is what you want to shoot for. Even though there is a handicap, you want to be in top 3.
Yeah, and what we're seeing on our screen not necessarily might be the lineup in tomorrow's final, but right now what we're seeing Texas Rowing Center row a very comfortable and commanding race, and they're going to be followed by River City in our outside lane, which is near in our picture, and then the Cambridge Boat Club. That and quite a boat race with those first three shells coming through.
Yeah, and as 4th place rolls in here again, we have San Diego Rowing Club in lane 3 closest to us. Lake Merritt in lane 5, just 2 lanes away from them. And then lane 4, Long Beach, right down the middle. So here we go. We got San Diego and Lake Merritt neck and neck. Oh, photo finish. And then we have Long Beach Rowing Association, lane 4 coming up right between them. All right. And we have East Bay Rowing Club here in lane 6. East Bay Rowing Club coming into the finish line. That will draw out the finish of race number 8, event 8, heat 1, Men's Masters Club Quad. There we go. East Bay Rowing Club, lane 6.
Very nicely rowed.
All right, and we're off. Again, with these sculling boats, you're going to see a little bit of a fun here in the start just because these boats don't have the coxswains to align them. You know, the guy sitting in bow, before they start the race, has to turn around and make sure that his boat is straight down the course. And if not, he has to make the adjustment. So a lot of these crews you're seeing are struggling in the first 250 here. Yeah, we're going here. It looks like this looks like lane 8. This looks like Pacific Rowing Club that we're looking here. Pacific Rowing Club, yeah. All the way out in lane 8, trying to stay clean through this water. Now, these guys need to keep their head up. Now, this is the start of the race, so they're trying to add intensity, trying to get these boats out, but they got to stay clean. You know, it doesn't look like they had the cleanest start. Looks like you started, oh, 2 boats coming together. Oh,
Ooh,
this looks like lane 2,
lane
San
two.
Diego Rowing Club, and lane 3, Antares Remo. Now, again, it's the bow seats that are steering these boats. So, again, it's really tough to be rowing and steering at the same time. So these two crews, unfortunately, looks like they just knocked each other out. Hopefully they get back to it here. Yeah, I'd be screaming and trying to get these boats separated to get going again, but looks like a little bit of a slow pickup here. So
Yeah. Yeah, and then unfortunately, it looks like that's beyond our 100-meter breakage point. If it happened in the first 100 meters, the officials would bring them all back and put them back in the blocks and send them off again. But unfortunately, those two crews crossed. We'll see what happens when we get down to the other end. Right now, we're looking at with our view on our screen right now. We're watching the overhead. We have the crews coming down. It looks like in lane.
So we might get these lanes wrong again. It's really kind of hard to see here, but it looks like the crew. We have eight boats in this race. So we have lane 1. We have Wyandotta Boat Club. Lane 2 we have San Diego again. Lane 3 Antares. Lane 4 Pacific Rowing Club. Lane 5 Lake Washington. Lake 6 Heroes Movement. Lane 7 another Antares Remo, and then lane 8 Pacific Rowing Club. So with them all spread out like this, we're trying to make sure that we're not giving you the wrong boats. You know, we're trying to make sure everybody's in the correct lane, but right now everything's kind of jumbled a little bit. So it looks like lane 1, Wyandotta, has kind of gotten out a little bit. Wyandotte got out a little bit. Um, it looks like in lane, I'm trying to see who this is. It might be the other Antares boat. Looks like out here in lane 7 might have pulled up a little bit.
Yeah, that crew in lane 1, Wyandotte. They seem to be our race leader at this point, and this outside lane on our screen, that is
I,
hard to
I
tell.
think it's
We
Antares.
believe it's Antares, but we have two crews that are dominating the race, and then we have the rest of the pack behind that. But again, it's handicap. All crews just want to row their race and then get their handicap applied and see where they line up for tomorrow's finals. The intent of today's race is get a good, clean race and get into the final.
All right. Now we have these two crews again. I wish I could tell which lanes they were so we could tell you which crews they are, but looks like they're fighting each other here. You know, both crews. Again, when you're sitting on a crew, when you're sitting next to a crew, you don't want to be rowing lower than them. You don't want to be, taking more time and relaxing. You kind of want to be pushing the other boat a little bit. It looks like these two boats are pushing each other. Yeah, who this is out in front? Trying to see the bow number again. I think that might be lane 5. That might be Lake Washington. Yeah, that might be Lake Washington. That might be
The hero.
Heroes Movement in lane 6. Yeah, so this might be lane 5, lane 6. So that again, lane 5, Lake Washington, probably about 3/4 of a length up on the lane 6 Heroes Movement. as we come up on the 1,000-meter mark. Now, as we pan out the other boats, again, Wyandotte all the way out there in lane 1, and then what we assume is Antares in lane 7. Looks like they might have pulled in a little bit. I'm not sure if anybody's keeping the same lane that they started with, but it looks like we have kind of a big spread here. So we're trying to do the best we can and make sure that we're labeling these crews right.
Yeah, I think it's tough for us to see what they're doing. Just think how that guy steering the boat in the bow is feeling right now. He's challenged. They had a challenging start. A couple boats came together, and the wind mixed in, the quartering wind, and just trying to get out of the blocks cleanly. And
Yeah.
now they've sorted it all out, and our leaders right now are in lane 1. That's Wyandotte, and we believe it's lane 7. It could be lane 6. We're not sure from our overhead, but either Heroes Movement in lane 6 or Antares in lane 7 is our second place shell.
Yep. Yeah, and as you see, the last 750, last 500 meters here, waters have roughed up a little bit. Looks like all these crews are handling it well. Again, you want to stay clean. You want to try and keep the boat going straight. The difficulty of rowing the boat and steering the boat is part of sculling, but both these crews have done a great job of it. Again, Wyandotte out in front, just kind of doing their own race. Again, they're not going to shut down. Just because they're winning by this amount doesn't mean that with all the other heats and whatnot and all the other handicaps that they're going to win the race. So they're still pushing themselves. Even though they have this huge lead, they're still going for a fast time. So watching them row this last 500 meters here is going to be a little bit fun. Again, that crew that's either out in lane 7 or lane 8 trying to hold on as much as they can. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch the winner, but they're still pushing themselves to stay out in front of the whole field.
Yeah, they're just trying to row their race. They're doing it well. That outside lane's a tough lane to row in. You have the wind conditions. You feel like everybody else is. You're the outside guy, the outside crew. It's nice to have a crew near you so you can have somebody race. But they're doing their race. These guys, again, these are seasoned scullers, seasoned rowers. They're all racers. They've done this a few times,
Yep.
so they're rowing their race. They know what they got to do, and they're just coming into that last 500 where they're going to wind it up and they're going to finish that race plan that they have.
Yep. And then in the last 500 meters here, the water gets a little bit flatter. You can see these crews, again, speeding up a little bit, trying to push themselves a little bit harder. I know in the beginning of a race, it's really tough to push yourself into the hole, but at the end of the race, it's easy to kind of dig into the well and go that extra little gear there at the end. But so as we see here at the finish line, yeah, we have Wyandotte crossing the finish line in lane 1. I'm trying to see across which lane that is so we can finally see which crew that is.
Yeah,
Is that lane 7? Is that binoculars? Don't worry about it. It's just the binoculars, but
it's lane
no,
8.
it's all right. It's fine. All right. Oop. Okay, so that looks like it was lane 8 that just crossed the line. Oh, lane 5. That's even better. That was even closer. So lane 5, Lake Washington rowing. We were completely wrong.
Well,
So lane
they
5 all the way out
but you were
the
correct. They
outside lanes.
crossed in lane 8, but
Yes.
they are our fifth crew. They started in lane 5.
So I think we just had mayhem at the catch. I think that's just the easy explanation for this is that all the lanes got mixed up and everybody's kind of in different lanes. But so congratulations, Lake Washington. Sorry about that. Now we have it looks like lane 4. So lane 4 Pacific Rowing Club. Lane 4 crossing the finish line in 3rd place. All right, this looks like lane 7. So this is Antares Remo. Antares Remo crossing the line, 4th place. Yeah, it looks like we have lane 2. This looks like San Diego Rowing Club, and lane 3, the other Antares boat. So San Diego Rowing Club crossing the line now, 5th place. Yeah. All right, that was San Diego Rowing Club here, lane 7. Yeah, this is the other Antares boat. Sorry, lane 3, the other Antares boat. As we zoom back. All right, as you can see from the finish line, looks like the wind's dying down a little bit. It's been pretty rough here in the middle of the course, but it looks like it's kind of giving up just a tiny, tiny bit. All right, and we have lane 8 coming up, Pacific Rowing, lane 8. So we had 2 Antares boats and 2 Pacific rowing boats in the same race. There you go. This gentleman coming across the line just now. Again, lane 8, Pacific rowing. And again, that was race 7, event 8, heat 2, men's masters club quad. All right.
Okay, race number 10. They're in the blocks. This will be the Women's Masters Club quad 4. Again, it's 4 oars women in a quad sculling. We got the bow oars woman is going to be steering this boat. They're lining them up now.
Yeah, so same thing. Hopefully, we see a little bit of a cleaner start here. Hopefully, a little bit more organization than the men's race. Men's race, it seems like everybody came out of their lane and kind of had a little bit of trouble steering in the beginning. Hopefully, these women, yeah, you can see them poised. Here we go. It looks like a nice clean start. It looks like everybody started. So lane 1, we've got San Diego Rowing Club. Lane 2, we have Lake Washington Rowing Club. Lane 3, Cambridge Boat Club. Lane 4, Lake Merritt Rowing Club. Lane 5, Zlack Rowing Club. Lane 6, Sacramento State Aquatic Center. And lane 7, Texas Rowing Center.
And this is the women's masters. These are a lot of experience in these women's crews. This is a handicapped heat. This is heat 1. Top 3 finishers after the handicap applied move on to our final tomorrow.
All right, here we go. We're underway. So you're seeing these crews, a little bit of rough water, trying to stay as clean as possible, trying to get their bow ball on front. Again, it is an advantage to be out in front of the race and be able to see your competitors behind you. You know, when you're racing and everybody, you can't see them, they're out in front of your boat. It's a little bit tougher. It's a little harder to focus here. So each one of these crews is trying to make their push to get out in front. You can see that water a little bit bumpy, but all these crews making their way through it. Now, Masters Rowing, yeah, they should know what they're doing. Looks like they have experience. So Texas here, this looks like Texas in our picture. Lane 7 is Texas Rowing Center. That trains on Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas. So yeah.
Yeah, you can see, we had some good shots here of how the bow oars woman looks. She's looking over her shoulder. She's making sure she has a good point. Hard to see the buoy lines with all this chop. So that's challenging for these crews. She's not only got to row, she's got to keep her boat in her lane.
Yeah, steering the boat and rowing at the same time is pretty difficult. Yeah, as you can see as the bottom of your screen, I'm trying to see which lane it is. That might be lane 3. It looks like lane 3, Cambridge Boat Club, are having a little bit of difficulty. I hope they don't start mixing lanes because that just means I'm going to start confusing who you are. But as you see them row off your screen there, hopefully they're able to adjust their point. So it looks like from the screen, it looks like we have lane 1, San Diego Rowing Club, all the way out there in first place. Looks like in lane 2, we have Lake Merritt in a little bit of trouble here from Texas. Looks like Texas has had to stop. I'm trying to figure out what has happened here. And now we have the crews crossing the 750, crossing the 1,000 meter, the middle of the race. So as you can see, that water is going to pick up a little bit. But San Diego Rowing Club, lane 1, pretty solid. Lane 2, Lake Washington Rowing, right on their heels. If we get we have the drone shot now. Once we get from that side shot again, we'll be able to see the exact margins. But having all the crews in this main shot, you can see lane 1, San Diego Rowing Club and Lake Washington Rowing Club, way out in front. A little bit of open water on lane. It looks like lane 3, 4, and 5. Again, I'm not 100% sure those are the crews that started in those lanes, but it looks like right now, lane 1, San Diego's in first place, and lane 2, Lake Washington's in second.
Yeah, it looks like they've sorted. The crews in the first 2 lanes sorted out. They stayed in their lanes. We're not sure about the crews behind us. They all found a lane, they picked a lane, and they were not necessarily in the lane that they started in. And officials have to sort that out at the end of the race. But right now, we're well through the 1,000 meters, pushing through 1250, and then it's that crew in lane 1, the San Diego Rowing Club. That's our hometown team. They're in the lead by about a boat length over lane 2, Lake Washington Rowing Club. Again, that's the lead right now, what we can see.
Yep.
But we got a handicap race, so it's anybody's race after that's applied.
So even though they finish first, doesn't exactly mean they win the race. But well rowed here. Yeah, they're about 3/4 of a length. It looks like Lake Washington might be making a push here. At the end of the race, the last 500 meters, crews always start to push for the line. So, you may have a crew that got out in front, used a lot of energy early, and then a crew that's kind of just been slow and steady coming up behind them. Yeah, maybe making their push, but maybe San Diego got enough of a lead to where it won't matter. We're going to find out here in the last couple hundred meters as San Diego Rowing Club in lane 1 makes their push, but Lake Washington in lane 2 is going with them, is trying to hold on to them, trying to push their bow into the San Diego boat.
Yeah, this is a real barn burner. This is a good race between these two crews in our near lanes to the official stand. Lane 1, you got San Diego Rowing Club holding about a 4-seat lead on that crew from Lake Washington. And as they approach our finish line area, I think that's going to be the order of finish. Lane 1, San Diego up by 4 seats, then Lake Washington.
All right, and here we got lane 5, Zlak coming in, third place. Again, chipping it up a little bit, trying to get their bow across the line. And then out in lane 7, you have Texas Rowing Center coming up behind them in fourth place. So third place, we've got Zlak Rowing Club in lane 5. And then out in lane 7, we have Texas Rowing Center. And then lane 4 behind them is Lake Merritt Rowing Club. Yep, we have Texas Rowing Center in lane 7 crossing the line. Fourth place. We've got Lake Merritt, lane 4, fifth place. Then we have lane 3, Cambridge Boat Club, lane 3 coming up. Again, this is a handicapped race, so what you see in front of you is not always the result. There you go. It's lane 3, Cambridge. All right, lane 6. So again, what you got coming across your screen is lane 6, Sacramento State Aquatic Center. So Sacramento State Aquatic Center crossing the finish line. This will conclude the race number 10 of event 3, the first heat of the Women's Masters Club Quad. All right, race number 11, event 3, heat 2, the
Yep.
Women's Masters Club Quad.
Yeah, in lane 1, we've got Steering You Right. And in lane 2, we have Texas Rowing Center. Lane 3, the San Diego Rowing Club. Lane 4, College Club Seattle. Lane 5, Lake Union Crew. Lane 6, College Club Seattle. And in lane 7, Cambridge Boat Club. 7 boats in this race. It's the Women's Masters Club quad. It's Heat 2. First 3 finishers go to our final tomorrow. As we're looking for our overhead, we see all of the lineup happening here as the crews try to get their bows all pointed straight up that course. It's quite a dance, literally, that the 7 crews have to do in order to all be aligned simultaneously for the starter to send them on their way.
Yep, and as we're seeing in lane 7 with Cambridge Boat Club, a little bit of difficulty keeping their boat straight. I believe in lane 3, you're seeing a boat somewhat cockeyed, but again, trying to overcompensate for the wind. If the wind's pushing your boat from port to starboard, meaning if you're staring backward at the stern of the boat, the wind's pushing the boat from right to left, you want to kind of overcorrect a little bit, but also not start the race with your boat angled the wrong direction. So again, you're seeing these crews. It looks like lane 7 struggling just a little bit. Lane 6 maybe. Maybe that's College Club, and we're not seeing one out the bottom. But yeah, again, trying to get these crews straight. Again, it looks like 5 crews are ready to go. Oh, okay.
That's
And
what they did is
that's
a
a
countdown stars. What they
that's an
did.
example of what you don't want to happen. You don't want to be pointing the wrong direction when they yell go. I'm not sure if those ladies were paying attention or not, but yeah, that's not going to help them out a whole lot. All right, so we're underway. A little bit of choppy water. We're looking to get the boats moving, get them up to speed. Yeah, get that rate up a little bit, get that bow ball up. And again, you can see in lane 1, Steering You Right LLC. In lane 2, Texas Rowing Center taking off a little bit here. Lanes 3, 4, and 5 are still neck and neck, but just a little bit behind. So again, those top crews on the far lane.
Again, it's tricky. That first 200 meters here is tricky, even just getting aligned.
All
Now
right.
we pick up the race. Pick up the race now. We're at our 1,000-meter mark of the women's Masters Club 4, and our race positions haven't changed much. It looks like our race leader is in lane 1. That's Steering You Right. And in lane 2 is Texas Rowing Center. Those two crews are fighting it out in the near lanes to our shore, and they're the far lanes from our picture. But then we've got a real boat race out in lanes. Looks like 4 and 5. Looks like 5 and 6. That looks like Lake Union and College Club are fighting for the third and fourth position. But it's clearly you have one
Yeah,
and two are in in lanes 1 and 2 respectively.
yeah.
And that would be Steering You Right and Texas Rowing Center fighting for that first position across the finish line.
And as I mentioned earlier, it does look like there is some choppy water, but it's still getting a little bit better. I know what it looks like on your screen, but as we're standing here, you can see gusts of wind, but it's still not as bad as it was a little while ago. So hopefully these crews going right through there without a coxswain are able to steer the boat straight, are able to keep the boat running. That's bow seat. Bow seat has the tow, has the steering. They make the calls. They're the ones trying to keep the boats from like wobbling around, running into each other. You saw one of the boats in this race started diagonal, not the greatest way, but in the last race, 2 boats that ran into each other. So there's a lot that can go on here in bad weather. But these 2 crews out in front, lane 1 Steering You Right, and lane 2 Texas Rowing Center. Uh, it's funny that now that I say it, it sounds like it looks like Steering You Right is steering a great race. So it looks like they've named their crew
Yeah,
correctly.
good point. They know what they had to do. They were rowing their race. They were fortunate to get out of the blocks cleanly, get through that first chop, and get through the second chop, and they know where they want to be. This is a handicap race. They know they want to get into that final. They want to row a clean race. That's the things you got to do in these kind of conditions. Just get down the course, keep a good course, and keep your blades in the water, and finish the race with your race plan.
Yep. Yeah, all right. So here we go. We got the last couple hundred meters here. Again, lane 1, Steering You Right's been command of this race since the beginning. You can see they've got about a length up here on Texas Rowing Center. Texas Rowing Center has been putting together a really tough race. Now, like I said, Steering You Right has the advantage because they're sitting there looking at Texas Rowing Center. They're right on their stern. Texas Rowing Center has to keep their head forward as they race, but know that Steering You Right is right there, is right. They're bow to stern. They're trying to make their push back into them, but Steering You Right is just sitting on the bow ball of Texas Rowing Center. It's a really hard race. It's really hard for Texas Rowing Center to push themselves when they can't see who they're fighting. That's the advantage of being out front and having a good start and having a clean race is that you can see your opponents behind you. So here we come. We're coming in the last couple hundred meters here. Again, lane 1, Steering You Right LLC. Lane 2, Texas Rowing Center.
Yeah, and that's a good point. When you can feel or see your crew, it helps when, especially in this last 200 meters, when you're just grinding. You don't have much left in the tank. You've left it all out there on the course, and here they coming up to our finished area, and Steering You Right is going to hold that first position across the line, followed by the Texas Rowing Center. But what a dogfight between those two crews coming down that course.
Yeah. No, yep. And first, Steering You Right, and 2, Texas Rowing Center. Good race. All right. And as we pan out a little bit, we've got lane, let's see here. We've got third place coming down in lane 4. So in lane 4, that's College Club Seattle. So College Club Seattle coming across the finish line here. And then in lane 5,
Okay.
let's see here. All right. Now we have our next race. We're taking off. Race number 12, event 9, final. Men's Masters A, the Jack Buchanan Memorial Trophy, ages 27 to 35. Looks like we're off the start here
Yeah,
again.
in lane one, we've got Club Nautico, the San Juan. Lane two, San Diego Rowing Club. Lane three, Los Angeles Rowing Club, and lane four, San Diego Rowing Club B. And this, these are young guys, 27 to 35. There's gonna be some.
This will be a
This will be
quick
a quick
race. Yeah.
race. You got a lot of horsepower in these boats
Oop.
and experience.
Yeah, and as you can see, they're getting through the section. You see that water bobbling around. Now, again, that's bad. You don't want your blades hitting the water. You don't want water flying up in the air. That's just going to slow your boat down. That's just extra work. So, you see these crews trying to power through it. Again, closest to us, we have San Diego Rowing Club trying to muscle through these waves a little bit. As you can see, the other crews maybe a little bit cleaner as this close crew to us now tries to put a little bit of heat on it as they get into flatter water. But
Yeah, and then all four crews, handled that first 250 chop pretty well. As we look overhead, we can really see the blade work, see the consistency. The top two crews are in the top of our screen. That would be Club Nautico. That's actually most of those individuals are from Brown alumni. In lane two, we got San Diego Rowing Club, and they're pushing on. They're just on. They're a couple seats down and followed by Los Angeles Rowing Club in lane three, and then the San Diego Rowing Club B boat in lane four.
yeah, all right. So still pretty close straight across. I don't imagine this is I don't imagine this is going to be a pretty far race. So I'm sorry, and as I'm being told here, we're flipping. Yeah, I'm looking on my screen. We're flipping back to the last race. We have a few boats still crossing the line.
Yeah,
So it looks like we just had lane 3, and now we have lane 6. Sorry about that. Looks like we have lane 3 and lane 6 coming across the line in our last race, the Women's Masters Club Club Quad. So we're trying to show that here, the very end of it. Again, next race coming down. We'll cut back that
yeah,
cut back to
we'll
that here in
we'll
a
pick
second.
that we'll pick our other race up in progress. That was
We're just catching the finish of the this heat here.
kind of like we're trying to give coverage of all the races, and because of our schedule and our weather, we have some of our races are going off right after one after another. So we have a little overlap, but we're back now. We're back with our men's masters A. That's the
All right,
and it looks like we're still looks like our
pretty
new
tight.
leader in
Yeah,
this race, lane two, is the San Diego Rowing Club, has taken a lead on Club Nautico de San Juan. That's the crew from Brown.
yeah. That's a big move. That's
That is big.
that's
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 1,500 meters. We have a boat race between lane one and lane two. But when we left you last, it was we had that crew in lane one was ahead. The Club Nautico de San Juan. Now San Diego Rowing Club has taken the lead. They're up by about 7 seats on that crew in lane one. And that's through 1,500 meters.
Yeah, and I can't imagine that Club Nautico crew in lane 1 is too happy about that. So again, let's watch this race as it unfolds. But again, lane 2, San Diego Rowing Club is pulled through lane 1, Club Nautico in lane 1. It looks like in lane 3 we have Los Angeles Rowing, probably about a boat length of or maybe a little bit of open water on lane 4, San Diego Rowing Club. So again, two San Diego Rowing Clubs boats in this race. The first boat, the A boat in lane 2, and then the B boat in lane 4. So a little bit of separation in this race. As Matt said, lane 2, San Diego Rowing Club is now trying to push their bow, push their boat all the way into open water over lane 1, Club Nautico. Club Nautico, I don't believe is going to let go all that much. It looks like they're slowly falling behind, but not as much. Again, only a couple 100 meters to go here. So looks like San Diego really putting the screws here to Club Nautico. Club Nautico putting up a fight. Everybody's bringing the rate up, trying to keep the pace, trying to push the pressure here. But it looks like San Diego's got their lead. I don't think they're going to be taking, Club Nautico is going to be taking that lead back. Club Nautico still pushing it, but bow to stern on San Diego Rowing Club. San Diego Rowing Club crossing the line first. San Diego Rowing Club in lane 2, lane 1. Club Nautico crossing the line in second place. We have Los Angeles Rowing Club here in lane 3. Los Angeles Rowing Club in lane 3 taking third place. A little bit of open water back on San Diego Rowing Club in lane 4. So again, the results for race number 12, event 9 final. Men's Masters A, the Jack Buchanan Memorial Trophy, ages 27 to 35.
Well rowed. That was quite a race.
Uh,
Okay, we got race number 13, event number 4. This is a final, a straight final. It's the Women's Masters A 8. This is women 27 through 35 years of age. Lane 1, we got Steering You Right. Lane 2, Bar Island Aquatic Center. Lane 3, Vancouver Rowing Club. Lane 4, Texas Rowing Center. And our crews are just out of the blocks.
yep.
Look,
Yeah, and just looking at this again, looks like a clean start. Maybe lane two, a little bit of a steering issue. Lane three, trying to get that under control. But as these crews get underway here, gaining speed, gaining momentum, getting nice clean rowing going. Yeah, as we get this nice little side shot again, you see how the rowing, you see how horizontal they're trying to stay, and how they're trying to keep their oars just barely off the top of the water. Yep, trying to get the boats up to speed, trying to get their bow ball out front. Looks like lane one, we've got Steering You Right. Yeah, lane two, Bear Island Aquatic Center. Lane three, Vancouver Rowing Club. And lane four, Texas Rowing Center. And this is for the Duke Robinson Memorial Cup.
it's a straight final, and it looks like right now our leader is Steering You Right in lane 1. And lane 2 would be our number 2 position, Bar Island Aquatic Center, and then followed closely by our crew out in lane 4, Texas Rowing Center, and then Vancouver. Crews are well through 1,000 meters now. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing they just passed through 1,000 meters, and our leader remains Steering You Right in the lane 1, which is the far lane on our picture, and then lane 2, Bar Island Aquatic Center. But our commanding lead in lane 1, Steering You Right. And this is a straight final, no handicap. So who you see cross first, will be our race winner
Yep.
and the champion.
Yep. And as we saw in the men's race was a little bit tight. It kind of spread out a little bit as the race went along. We're seeing the same thing here. A little bit of separation between lane one, Steering You Right, and Bear Island. Looks like Bear Island and Vancouver are next to each other. Looks like, or I'm sorry, that looks like Bear Island and Texas Rowing Center. The Texas Rowing Center out there in lane four. Yeah, it looks like they're on the all the way on the left of your screen. Looks like they're giving Bear Island a run for their money.
Yeah, these are young crews. They're experienced. There's a lot of power in these boats, and we're seeing some very good racing. They're seasoned racers, and as you can see, steering you right has taken advantage of all that protection in lane one, and they've used that to their advantage to push to at least about a boat length of open water over the crew in lane two, Bar Island Aquatic Center, and they're probably within contact with Texas Rowing Center out there in lane four. But our race leader, after we pass through that 500-meter flag, 1500-meter flag with 500 to go, is steering you right in lane one, and they're just going to try to finish this race and wind it up in the next couple. They're going to go in their wind up and hold on to that lead if they can.
Yeah, and right now, what I would be telling my crew, if I was that little coxswain in the back of the boat, telling the crew what to do, I would be telling them just relax. You know, you can see the crews behind you, straight final. You just don't need to make a mistake between you and the finish line. You know, you just have that little bit to go. So just sit up nice and clean. You're not going to see the crew bring the rate up so much. You know, you see a lot of these crews when they're neck and neck trying to push each other a little bit by bringing the rate up. That crew out in front steering you right looks like just a nice, solid, easy rhythm, just bumping the boat along. Again, same thing with Bear Island in Texas, though. Looks like Bear Island in Texas looks like they're going to be pushing each other. So don't be surprised if you see them bring the rate up, but steering you right, just stay the same all the way across the line. All right, steering you right, coming across. Yeah, they're coming within view here. Definitely in the home stretch. That's nice open water to second and third place. It looks like Bear Island has probably about half a boat length over Texas Rowing Center. Again, it's hard to tell with these angles while we're up in the air looking from a drone. But again, steering you right, way out in front, about to get first place. Looks like second and third place might be a little bit closer. Yeah, it looks like Bear Island might be inching out Texas Rowing Center. Texas Rowing Center definitely putting up a tough race, but Bear Island might be squeezing this out. Yeah, they might have gotten their lead. Looks like they're holding on to it. Yeah, they're looking across. Nice and comfortable. Bear Island, second place. Yeah, Texas Rowing Center, third place. All crews looking really exhausted once they cross the line. And then we have coming up here in third, lane three, getting fourth place is Vancouver Rowing Club. So Vancouver Rowing Club in lane three. All right, Vancouver Rowing Club, fourth place. Well fought race, ladies. All right. We've
Mm.
got this. We've got the start of the next event. Race number 14, I believe. This is the event 11. This is the Men's Masters F8 grand final. It's called the Grandmasters Oarlock Trophy. This is ages 60 to 64. Uh, so so in lane two, we have unaffiliated Canadian crew. Lane three, we have University of San Diego alumni. And then in lane four, the Wimbledon Rowing Club. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're being told here we have three boats listed. Maybe we just don't have one listed. All right. So we have lane two, unaffiliated Canada, lane three, University of San Diego alumni, and lane four, Wimbledon Rowing Club. We're trying to find out. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. So I'm being told in lane one is Ex Nemo Rowing Club. So again, at the top of your screen, you're seeing Ex Nemo in lane two, unaffiliated Canadian. Now, from the angle that we're looking at, it looks like lane 2, 3, and 4 are all on top of each other here. Again, some pretty close racing. The Masters F, again, these guys are 60 to 64, so they should know what they're doing. It should look like good rowing. Yeah, from the side here, it looks really clean. Looks like all crews have had a nice start. But again, lane 2 slightly ahead of lane 4, Wimbledon. In lane 3, you have University of San Diego Alumni. So tight racing. I don't expect any of these crews to break away like they did in the last couple races, but should still be some pretty good racing.
Right. What we're seeing on our screen right now, we got Ex Nemo out in lane one. That's the top of our screen. They're followed closely by the University of San Diego Alumni. They're in the middle lane, and then our third crew there in the picture is the Wimbledon Rowing Club. Those are the three crews we're seeing in our on the screen right now. They've passed through the first 750 meters, and we've got quite a boat race. There's not much separation between any of those crews, but it appears to be that the ex Nemo crew in lane one is our race leader at this point, and the University of San Diego Alumni is our number 2 position, followed by Wimbledon in lane 4, but lane 3, what we're the third boat closest to us.
Yep. And as we get down here, now with these crews now, so we talk a lot about stroke rating, bringing up the stroke rating, clean rowing, trying to push each other a little bit more. Now with these older masters boats, again, you're not going to see a great pickup of speed. You're not going to see them just change speed coming down the course. But the idea is not to slow down. You want to maintain speed down the course. You want to build speed, but you don't want to lose speed. You don't want to slow down. So as these guys get tired, as they come in, yeah, I think we're coming in. It looks like we're past the 500 meters. We're well into the middle of the race. So the idea here is just to get into a rhythm. You're going to see these guys try to maintain speed, not trying to lose a whole lot. But as the weather changes a little bit, as they come up into that little bit of crosswind you see on your screen, hopefully these guys can maintain that boat speed. It looks like they're trying to keep the stroke rate up, but it looks like they're making their push. Again, what I like about these boats is that these guys know how to row. It looks like this boat out here, this Wimbledon rowing boat out in here, looks like they're rowing really well. They're staying in the race just by keeping their blades clean off the water.
Yeah, we're well past our 1500-meter mark coming into that final. We're almost into the 1750 down, coming into the last 250, and this is where the boat race. We're going to see the two crews in the lead really pick it up now because they can taste each other. They can taste that finish line. They can sense each other, and that crew that's in the lead, they're in lane 2, but the top of our screen right now, they are up by about 2 seats over the University of San Diego Alumni, who are holding off by about the same another 2 seats, the Wimbledon crew in the near lane to us. But we got quite a boat race coming down to that last 250.
Yeah, yeah, no, and these crews have done a great job. Again, in our notes, it says the Wimbledon crew gathers at the Wimbledon Lake due to its consistently calm water. So for them to be able to handle this water, it looks like they're doing a great job, putting in a lot of good work here. Again, lots of contact. No one has broken away on this. So pretty tough race. We're sitting here waiting at the finish line looking for them. So um, yeah, they definitely have a little bit to go here. Again, they're trying to make their push without slowing down. The idea here is as you get tired, don't start slumping over. Don't drop your head down. Try to sit up. Try to finish your strokes. Try to row well. It's really hard to ask somebody that's kind of digging into the well a little bit to give more, but that's what these coxswains are doing here. They're trying to get these boats to pick up speed and put your bow ball out in front. Because again, there's no handicap here. Again, this is going to be a straight race, straight final. So what you see, the results you see is what you get.
Yeah, they are. This is a tight race, and it's going to come down to that last 250. That looks like the University of San Diego Alumni has made a push in that last 500. They're only down by a couple seats now to the crew, the far crew. That would be the ex Nemo crew. But right now, it could be anybody's race from what we're looking at right now between the University of San Diego Alumni and the ex Nemo crew in lane one.
Yeah, and I would tell this Wimbledon crew out here in lane 4 to try to hold on to lane 3. As University of San Diego Alumni makes their push and pushes out in front of lane 2, the unaffiliated Canadian boat, that lane 4 Wimbledon should go with them. As you see, as we're coming down to the last stretch here, Looks like University of San Diego alumni want to win this. Again, they're pushing their bow in front. They're making their last little move here. Looks like Wimbleball is bringing it up as well, but unaffiliated Canada right here in lane 2 looks like they're going to hold on to second place. Looks like they've looked across. They're trying to make their push, but it looks like in lane 3, University of San Diego finishing first. Looks like in lane 2, the Canadian crew, and then in lane 4, Wimbleball rowing in third place. Again, all boats with overlap. Really tight racing. Really good racing here. It was a lot of fun to watch.
That was an amazing race to watch. Well rowed, all crews. Well rowed.
So just waiting for this other crew to finish. Just a side note, Matt back here is actually giving fist pumps in the air because he graduated University of San Diego. So to see his buddies win that race was really good.
Oh,
It
no,
was a
I'm
lot of
very
fun.
impartial.
Right. So congratulations, University of San
Yeah,
Diego
good
alumni.
job. Well rowed, all crews, but especially good job you at University of San Diego. Way to go, boys.
All right, on screen we have race number 15, event 12 final. This is the men's Masters G8. It says Kaboomer Trophy. Kaboomer Trophy. Again, that's ages 65 to 69. No, 65 to 69. Oh, wait.
Women.
No, this is the one it should be. That's the one that I turned to. All right, just yeah, we're trying to figure out here. We might have had a couple of races condensed together. We're trying to figure out with that. So please bear with us as
We do know
we.
this is a women's race, and it's an 8, and it may be a combined race.
All right. As we figure this out, just going through the race here, it looks like again, better water right behind Vacation Island right here. As you can see, these crews trying to get into their rhythm here, trying to kick their legs down, trying to swing their back open, trying to be clean. Yeah, rowing very cleanly. Now, it looks like we have out here in lane 4. Again, we're trying to figure out who these crews are. But again, in lane 4, nice solid rowing. Something you haven't seen many crews kind of doing from that outside lane is a nice low stroke rate, but a lot of power. It looks like they're not bringing the rate up as much, but they're adding a lot of power to it. So you're seeing this boat run a little bit more. More on the inside boats, yeah, they're trying to keep their boat speed up by keeping a higher stroke rate and kind of tapping it along. Whereas these outside crews, it looks like a nice long, lots of length stroke. So again, when we pan out, yeah, again, these women trying to clean rowing, nice, fast, clean rowing. Looks like lane 2 here. Yeah, lane 4 is definitely making their push, but it looks like lane 2 is now making their way out in lane 4. Again, sometimes in these races, it's in these eights, it's not like one boat's just going to speed up and the other boat's going to slow down. It's slow. It's something could go wrong, but again, if you're going to make your move, it's not going to be definitive. It's going to take a little while, a little bit of work. So this crew in lane 2 is trying to push out from lane 1. Yeah, lane 1 looks looks like they're sticking with it and making their move, but looks like lane 2 is making a little bit more of a push. Now lane 4 all the way out here on the side, they definitely have a nice solid rhythm. If I was that coxswain talking to that boat, I would say, "Hey guys, don't change anything." Again, it's straight final. So try to make sure we have a nice solid rhythm and nothing goes wrong, you know. Try to make sure you stay nice and clean.
Clean is this is a clean race and a well matched race. It's all crews rowing cleanly, good form, pushing through that first 750 meters. As we're looking on the
17.
screen, we're just seeing all four crews moving through the 750-meter mark, coming up on the 1,000-meter mark now. That it looks like our race leader is out in the outside lane, which is near lane on our picture, and that's the lane. We are still trying to figure out if we have a combined race because of the conditions. Some of the officials are combining the races. They might not tell us here at the starting line. Or, I mean,
So
at the start at the finish line, what's going on down there?
yeah, so we might have condensed races here. This might be what we're looking at. Might be
F and G. So it'd
all
be
right. So this looks like race number 17, event 7.
H and F. So I think it's G and F. Okay, okay, now we know. Yeah, it's this one. So
All right, so they combined. All right, so
we
we
could
finally figured this out. So they've combined events F and G here. So again, that's the Women's Masters F, Campland on the Bay Trophy, and the Women's Masters G, the K Porter Cup. So what we have here, we have Long Beach in lane 1. Looks like Long Beach is looks like they're in third place. Looks like in second we have Steer You Right. So in lane 2 we have Steer You Right. We actually have two Steer You Right boats. It looks like in lane 4 we might have a Steer You Right boat out in front, and then in lane 2 another Steer You Right boat uh, in second place, and then in first place a Long Beach Rowing Association. And what I'm assuming, yeah, again condensing these races, uh, each one of these, so we might have two winners in this. So again, if we have in lane 2, it looks like they're the only ones in their race. They'll be winning that race, the Campland on the Bay Trophy, for the Women's Masters F final. It looks like in lane 4, we have lane 4 and lane 1 in the same category. So lanes 1 and lanes 4 are in the same event. So that's the Women's Masters G, the K Porter Cup. So again, these two boats are racing each other. So lane 4, Steer You Right, has a nice lead over lane 1 in Long Beach. Again, it's straight final, so I would tell these crews nice and steady, nice and long. Then you have the crew in lane 2, the Steer You Right. Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of chilling in second place. Now, for them, just going for a fast time and having a good race, I believe, yeah, just sitting in front of that crew in lane 1, the Steer You Right in lane 1. Or I'm sorry, the Long Beach in lane 1. Just try to aim on racing those guys. Have a good race. You know, you're the only boat in your event, but have a little bit of fun and try to push yourself in front of these guys. It looks like lane 1, the Long Beach Rowing Association, yeah, they're getting a few steering instructions a little bit, but they're trying to push these boats, yeah, back on the course. Yeah, it looks like we had a little bit of trouble there from the launch dock, but looks like everything's all right. So again, Steer You Right all the way out in lane 4, just textbook rowing, just nice steady rowing. You have the lead, don't screw anything up. Long Beach in lane 1, same race in the K Porter Cup, trying to make sure that they try to push back into lane 2. Lane 2, Steer You Right in their own event is just trying to have a good race, trying to have fun. Yeah, all these crews, you can see a nice solid rhythm as they come down the course. Looks like that Steer You Right boat in lane 4 has now brought the rate up. Yeah, so here you go, coming into the finish line. Again, lane 4, Steer You Right. We have them crossing the line in first place. Again, well rowed race, well out in front. Nice control the whole way coming down. Good. Then in lane 2, we have the other Steer You Right boat. So again, in their own race, yeah, they were combined races, so in their own race. And then in lane 1, yeah, we have the Long Beach Rowing Association also in the K Porter Cup. All right, we just watched the finish of that last race. As you can see, the conditions in the bay, like I said, are getting a little bit better.
Okay, we got race number 19. This is a women's alumni 8. They got two boats in this race. Lane one's the University of Southern California women's alumni, and lane two, the University of Calgary Rowing Club.
All right,
And it
yeah.
looks like we got an alignment, and we have a start.
And this is for the Susan Francia Trophy. Swims alumni a little bit steering towards each other. Again, both crews trying to compensate for that wind a little bit. It looks like lane one, University of Southern California women, was blown around a little bit. It looks like lane two, the University of Calgary, it overcompensated a little bit. So now both crews straight away. Now, yeah, now it's a drag race. So now you're seeing University of Southern California try to make their push out. You know, they had a little bit of little bit of difficulty steering there in the beginning, but now boat's nice and straight. They're going to sit up, try to get that boat moving right along.
Yeah, we had a really good picture of the start. It really showed the intensity and the high stroke rate as those both crews come out of that block. Those first 20 strokes, a high 38 to 42 strokes per minute. Then they settle after that 24th, 25th stroke. They settle to their race cadence. Right now, we're looking at them in the base of the race with the University of Southern California alumni. They're well in front of the crew from Calgary Rowing Club. They have about a length and a half, 2 lengths over open water from what it appears to be that. And this is a straight final, straight up. There's no handicap involved. And we're looking at those at this position of race. We're looking at them across the 1250 mark.
Yeah, and these alumni boats are interesting. You're right now you're seeing that University of Southern California alumni boat out in front, and even the University of Calgary. So the thing here with alumni boats, it's not like a college or a high school where you get kids that are always practicing training every day, training with each other. You know, some of these alumni boats, you throw it together. You know, it's people that you used to row with, people that you had fun rowing with. So to be able to be out in front like this in an alumni boat it's pretty special. You know, sometimes I've been in boats that clicked really well. I've been in boats that haven't clicked really well. So to be able to get in these alumni boats and actually win the race is a great feeling. You know, I'm sure these ladies are pushing each other. I don't know if they practiced with each other before this or not, but putting these alumni boats together, it's kind of like a draw on whether it'll be a good row or a bad row. So it's good to see that these ladies are out in front having a good time here. So again, University of Southern California women's alumni in lane one, about 2 boat lengths of open water over University of Calgary Rowing Club in lane two.
Yeah, that's a good point. They're alumni boats that sometimes appear to be throw-togethers, as we would call them, but it's apparent that the both crews have trained together. They prepared for this race. They're rowing really well together. And then in this race, it looks like the University of Southern California has a little bit more of the advantage in the fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's good. We're seeing we're coming back into the last 500 here. So even as that we get that little bit of crosswind, both crews are staying pretty steady. You're not seeing them really bring the rate up. You're not seeing the blades slap the water a whole lot. It's just nice, clean rowing. Both coxswains, you know, when you get out in the front, like I said, I would be telling my crew, it's a straight final. We don't want to screw this up. If you guys want to push a little bit harder, make it feel better, that's fine, but nothing too crazy. You don't want to go out of control in the last 500 meters and have something go wrong.
So we're approaching that finish line now, and this looks like the University of Southern California's alumni are going to take this race, a two boat race, and it's a straight final. Calgary's going to take that second position, but good, well rowed race by both crews. Blade works clean, all the bodies are aligned. Good courses by our coxswains. Good race to watch. Certainly a good race to have been involved in as an oarswoman.
Yep. And as you see the finish line here, I was just some people were looking at me. I was trying to comment that we're in the background up there. We're in one of those tents, so just trying to get on camera. But as we cross the line here, University of Southern California women's alumni crossing the line first. Probably about 2-3 boat lengths of open water back to the University of Calgary Rowing Club. But well rowed race, ladies. Again, that looked very clean and very solid race.
Agreed. Well rowed. Nice job, ladies.
Here we got University of Calgary again. They're building the race. Yeah, building the rate up. Coming across the line just now. Yep. Nice strong finish there. Again, that was race number 19, event 1, the women's alumni 8, the Susan Francia Trophy.
Okay, let's look at this. This is race number 20. It's the men's alumni 8. We have 6 boats in this race. Lane 1, Club Nautico de San Juan. Lane 2, Isla Vista Rowing Club. Lane 3, Evergreen Boat Club. Lane 4, University of California San Diego Crew. Lane 5, University of San Diego Alumni. Lane 6, the Isla Vista Rowing Club. A lot of aliases here. This is, these guys are trying to be sleuth and sly. We know that the Club Nautico de San Juan, that's Brown alumni in lane 1. Isla Vista, well, that's UC Santa Barbara. Who hasn't been to Isla Vista? Then the Evergreen Boat Club, they are Evergreen Boat Club. University of California San Diego Crew, it is what it is. And the University of San Diego Alumni. But a couple aliases there, but they all know who each other are, and they're probably talking the snap down there at each other as they're sitting in the starting blocks.
All right, here we go. We have all crews sitting ready. We're trying to get the footage here. But yeah, we're going to have a pretty quick start here. Yeah, again, all crews, once they're ready, they pretty much take off. You see the water's a little bit better, so hopefully we get a little bit of a drag race with all 6 boats across. Yeah, hopefully we get a nice, strong race. Again, we've had a couple races without 6 boats. It's been interesting and tight, but yeah, when all boats start together and they're all 6 across, it's pretty intense.
It looks like all 6 crews are aligned. We should see that flag go down and those blades. Here we go.
Yep, here we go.
They're
All right.
they're still sculling.
See
They're not
those
quite.
bow seats? Yeah,
Yeah,
pulling it around.
they're
Yeah,
still
everybody
sculling.
trying to keep their line straight. Again, if you
Yeah.
overcompensate, it can always be a little bit difficult. Yeah, it looks like we have bottom 4 boats are definitely sculling it around. Yeah, it looks like just the bottom boat now. Hopefully we got a start here. That looks like we're
Yeah.
getting a start.
There
Yep.
we go.
All right. All 6 boats. Looks like pretty clean start. Looks like lane 4 maybe a little bit off, a little bit off. Looks like all the coxswains are trying to adjust a little bit. But again, the alumni boats, yeah, some of these boats are thrown together, some aren't. But we should see some good racing here. A lot of these guys, as Matt said, talk smack to each other. So hopefully a little bit of grudges going on back and forth during this race.
Oh, absolutely. Grudge is what it's all about. Rowers hold grudges and they race for grudges, but then they seem to all end up at the beer garden together.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and it's funny with these alumni boats. I'm just looking in the notes section. It looks like these boats, yeah, it looks like some pretty solid alumni from each squad. So again, hopefully not too much separation. Hopefully it's a good fight all the way down. As you can see across, not the cleanest. These crews, like I said, are throw together, so they're not going to have practiced a whole lot together. Maybe some crews do, some crews don't. But the only problem is if you don't row well, yeah, it's going to be a very hard race. As you can see in the bottom of your screen there, it looks like we have the Isla Vista Rowing is having a little bit of trouble staying clean coming out of the water.
Yeah, it's like they're pretty much, in the top of our screen, it's the Club Nautico, who's the Brown alumni. They're holding a slight lead over lane 2, the Isla Vista Rowing Club. Though those are alumni from the University of California, Santa Barbara. So and also Santa Barbara has another alumni boat in lane 6. So the boat race right now is lane 1 and 2. That's Club Nautico de San Juan and Isla Vista Rowing Club. But all then out in lane 4 we have University of California, it's the San Diego crew, University of San Diego, University of California, San Diego. So right now, looks like our race leaders in lane 1 is the Club Nautico de San Juan, then followed in lane 2 by the Isla Vista Rowing Club, and then lane 4, University of California, San Diego crew.
Yeah, it looks like in lane 4, it looks like they're definitely trying to hold on to the first two crews. First two crews are doing work off each other. Yeah, like Matt said, that Club Nautico club is way out in front, so they've got about half a boat length. They can see the Isla Vista crew. The Isla Vista is trying to work off them, but in lane 4, it looks like University of California trying to push their bow in front. It looks like a solid rhythm. I think I mentioned it on that last race where a nice long rhythm is not bad. If you have the power and you can add the length, you don't have to row as high as the other crew. So it looks like lane 4 is putting a lot of power in the water. I don't want to discount the Isla crew, the Isla Vista crew, all the way out in lane 6. It looks like they're starting to try to make a move. Again, a little bit of open water behind the other crews, but still a lot of time to get there. It's still a lot of race course to go.
Yeah, these are all boat race. They all know how to race, so you don't want to count anybody out. And that the crew in lane 4 certainly made a move in the middle part of the race. That's the University of California San Diego alumni crew. They have taken probably about a boat length on the nearest crew. That could either be the Isla Vista crew in lane 2, or it's Club Nautico San Juan in lane 1. They are fighting neck and neck in the lanes 1 and 2 for that second position. But right now, our race leader coming up on just passing 1,000 meters is the crew from the alumni from the University of California, San Diego.
Yeah, and it looks like we have also a fight for fourth place here. It looks like Evergreen, as we were talking about Evergreen and University of San Diego alumni, looks like for that fight for fourth place, we'll push those crews up a little bit. Again, you don't want to slow down a whole lot. You want to gain speed, but the one thing you don't want to do is slow down. So watching these crews, watching the Club Nautico crew, call it the Isla Vista crew, the two Isla Vista crews, and the University of California, it looks like they're making that push. University of California may have just carried their momentum into first place. Again, this angle is kind of hard to see, but once we pan out from the side, it looks like the University of California might have pushed out a little bit. The Isla Vista crew, yeah, might in second place again might have pulled in front of Club Nautico. I don't know what's going on in Club Nautico, but their coxswain better start screaming at them to bring the rate up because it looks like they're losing their lead here. It looks like they're falling behind a little bit. So
Exactly. Well put. Yeah, it's like University of California, San Diego sure pushed their advantage to the middle part of that race and took us a lead. But both the Isla Vista crew in lane 2 and the Brown crew, which is the Club Nautico, they are trying to get back in the race. And it looks like now it's that crew in lane 2, Isla Vista Rowing Club, might have a slight lead over the crew in lane 4, the University of California, San Diego alumni.
yeah,
What a boat race coming up on our last 750 meters. It's
and
quite a dogfight.
I just want to make a comment. It looks like Brown is not happy about this. Just watching them, it looks like they just brought their rate up. You can tell the crews in lane 2 and lane 4 are rowing a little bit lower than lane 1. Lane 1 doesn't look like they're too happy about losing their lead right now. So expect a little bit more action from them. Expect a nasty little push here at the end as they try to gain their lean back. But again, lane 4, University of California, and lane 2, the Isla Vista crew, are just kind of continuing their race as they go along. They just want to keep their momentum. I'm sure Isla Vista is not happy about being in second, but that University of California crew in lane 4 looking solid as they bring their rate up. Yeah, they come into the last little bit here. You can see they're bringing their rate up. They don't want to lose their lead. Looks like Isla Vista is just biding their time. Maybe Isla Vista is now pushing ahead. Again, the angle's going to be a little bit funky, but Isla Vista, yeah, trying so hard just to inch out in front right there. Again, it's going to be a barn burner coming into the last 250 meters here. But again, lane 2, Isla Vista, just over, just trying to push into lane 4, University of California. And then over here in lane 1, Club Nautico, trying to get out of third place into second place. But sorry, Ella Vista and University of California are fighting for first place as they roll into finish here. Yeah, we should be able to see if University of California was able to keep their little push, or if Isla Vista was able to get their bow out in front of them and change that lead a little bit here. We come in last couple meters here. It's lane 4. University of California finishes about four seats up on Isla Vista in lane 2. In lane 1, we have Club Nautico about a little bit of open water back in third place. Club Nautico, a little bit of open water on Evergreen Boat Club in lane 3. Evergreen Boat Club in lane 3, just open water over lane 6. The Isla Vista Rowing Club all the way on lane 6. I'm sorry, the University of San Diego Alumni in lane 5. And then in lane 6, the Isla Vista crew will be finishing in last. So again, we have that. That's the second Isla Vista rowing club in lane 6.
Excellent race. Congratulations.
All right. Looks like we're at race 21, event 17 final, the ACRA Men's Collegiate 8 Invitational. So again, a little bit of a rough get off here. Yeah, it looks like lane 4 and lane 3 are trying to get away from each other here, but that's just a little bit of steering issues. So as we get the race underway, yeah, here we go. Here you go, guys.
So this is a collegiate race or collegiate open race. You got in lane one UCLA, lane two the University of California Santa Barbara, lane three the University of Southern California, lane four San Diego State University, and lane five the UK Armed Forces crew. So right now they got a good shot of all five crews across, and it looks like our race leader early on is in that first lane UCLA. But this is early. They've still a lot of water ahead of them, a lot of boat race ahead of them.
Yeah, you can see from that last shot how these crews are having a little bit of trouble getting their blades out of the water. Here's the this looks like lane 5, the UK Armed Forces. Now, a lot of these guys look like I wouldn't want to take them on in an arm wrestling match, but looks like they're powering through this water. I talked a little bit earlier in one of the earlier races about having a lot of power and keeping length. Now, these guys are still in their starting stroke, so it looks like it's really high, but expect them in a few to just try and settle into it a little bit more and let the rate to come down. It looks like all these crews still around each other, still trying to push. Looks like lane 4 is still trying to get control of their steering, but lane 1, UCLA rowing. Lane 2, University of California. And lane 3, University of Southern California are out in front right now. Looks like lane 2 and lane 3 are kind of fighting each other, still having a little bit of steering issues. You shouldn't be able to fit an aircraft carrier between these crews, but hopefully we see that level out a little bit here in the middle of the race.
Yeah, that's a good point. Steering's two things. It shakes a crew up when they see their coxswain go off course or they're not on course. So then they get rattled often. So steering a good course is important for two reasons. One, you got to stay in your lane. Two, you want to keep your crew calm and focused on their job. Is putting some pressure on those oar blades. But again, right now, holding a very strong lead in lane one is UCLA rowing. They're followed by in lanes two and three by the University of California, Santa Barbara, and University of Southern California, respectfully. The UK Armed Forces, they're staying in the hunt out there in lane five. That's the near lane in our picture. And then they got the San Diego State University men's crew in lane four, and they're also trying to stay in this boat race.
Yep. So here we go with another side shot. You can see UCLA. Again, nice long low rhythm, trying to get a little bit of distance each stroke. We pay a lot of money for these boats. When you take your oar out of the water, you want the boat to run a little bit. You don't want your oar dragging on the water. You don't want it, in the water. You don't want it dragging out of the water, stuff like that. So a lot of these crews trying to stay clean. Now, it looks like University of Southern California is in second place, but again, we have the UK Armed Forces and University of California, Santa Barbara right there behind them. Looks like the UK forces are making their move. Now, we talked about the 1,000 meter, how everybody's going to bring the rate up and try to reestablish their rhythm, try to push a little bit more to try and get that little bit of edge leading into the second half of the race. So you're seeing the UK forces, yeah, they're fighting a hard fight here, but again, you don't want to slow down. Some of these crews might be slowing down a little bit. We might see in lane 2, University of California, Santa Barbara, inching behind a little bit. Looks like in lane 3, the University of Southern California is now pushing their bow out. Again, it's tough to tell because of these angles, but these boats might, some might be slowing down, some might speed up. So we'll see how that develops in the second 1,000 meters of the race.
Yeah, you made a point about moving the boat as well as possible, keeping those blades in the water as long as possible, and then letting the boat run. Run is using the momentum of that boat in your favor. You've got with the crew and the coxswain and the weight of the boat, you've got close to a ton of mass moving down the race course. That's hard to believe, but that's actually what's happening. So there's a lot of mass, and the run of the boat is actually is speed of the boat, and that the more uh, smooth you are with your technique, the better that boat's going to run. And we see the UCLA crew doing that well.
Yep.
We see the crew out in lane three, the University of Southern California, also doing well. They're holding that second position. Then University of California, Santa Barbara in lane two. But these are collegiate crews. They are rowing quite a race, but that UCLA crew is rowing comfortably in the lead and using their blade work, using their run, using their technique to and being comfortable and being calm in what is a frantic sport.
Yeah, and these college crews, again, these college crews have been training together. They've been leading up to this race. They've been rowing together. So to see them row smoothly through that little section back there with a little bit of bad water is very, very promising. This crew, this UCLA crew, is only pushing their bow farther out in front. It looks like we have a little bit of separation in the back. It looks like University of Southern California has been able to push out in front. Now we have the UK Armed Forces really trying to get that third place. We've had University of California, Santa Barbara drop back a little bit. You don't want to slow down these races. You want to speed up. And it looks like these three crews, it looks like UCLA, University of Southern California, and the UK Armed Forces are all making their push for the finish line. We have a couple more 100 meters here. The water's gotten flatter. Now it's a drag race. So UCLA, again, nice solid rhythm. They're coxing. Hey guys, straight to final. Don't have to push it extra hard. Don't screw anything up. Just nice steady rhythm. University of California, I'm sorry, University of Southern California. Now, I'd be careful. They need to push up. They need to keep their lead over the UK Armed Forces because it looks like the UK Armed Forces has brought the rate up. Those guys can still see the stern of the University of Southern California boat, so they're going to push it. They're bow to stern on that boat, so they're going to keep pushing it all the way to the line. Looks like that University of Southern California is going to push out a little bit here. So it's going to make their move. So crossing the line, we have UCLA rowing. In second place, we have that University of Southern California boat in lane 3. Just outside of that, bow to stern on them, we have the UK Men's Armed Forces finishing in third. And then finishing in fourth, we have the University of California, Santa Barbara. Yeah, tough race for them. Again, you saw a really, really tough race. And now, yeah, in lane 4, as we're panning back, we have the San Diego State men's crew coming up in lane 4. Yep. Just one more. This is it. All right, as I said, SDSU men crossing the finish line, lane 4.
Okay, we're looking at the starting line. This is going to be race number 22. This is the last event for today, but this is the ACRA Women's Collegiate 8. In lane 1, we have Orange Coast College. Lane 2, the University of California, Santa Barbara. Lane 3, University of California, Irvine. And lane 4, the University of California, Davis. University of California is the cruise in this race
The
today.
cruise to beat, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Anyway, it
All right.
looks like a good, clean start.
Yeah.
That Orange Coast College crew looks like they're the race leader at the first couple hundred
Oh,
meters. All crews look like they got out of the blocks semi cleanly, trying to establish straight courses and get comfortably into their race pace. They're in their high strokes right now. They're getting ready to shift down to their race cadence.
yep. And as we go to the side view again, you can see a little bit hectic, but all those crews across. So as you're rowing, as you're trying to get your boat up to speed and as you're trying to get your bow out front, all the boats around you are doing the same thing. So those coxswains, those little people steering the boats are yelling at their crews. People in the boat are yelling at each other. So there's a lot going on. And so in the middle of the race, it's kind of nice. You can see crews finally get into a rhythm. You've seen some of these crews definitely exchange leads a little bit, But the start very chaotic. You can have a bad start and still win a race, but it's very very tough. You want to have a clean start. You want to have it easy. You don't want to take a lot of energy and put yourself in the hole in the beginning of a race because you still have another 1500 meters, 1700, 1500 meters to go.
Absolutely. You want to get out of the hole. Your goal is get out of the hole clean, fast, but clean start and steady, and then get into your race plan. And it looks like all four crews were successful in doing that. Right now, it's like Orange Coast College has pressed their advantage up. They're up by about 3 seats on our crew in lane two. That's University of California, Santa Barbara. They're holding about a 6 seat lead over University of California, Irvine, and they're up by about 4 seats, as you can see, of the University of California, Davis. What a boat race! All four crews within contact each other. That's good boat racing. But it's turning into a real dogfight in the first lanes one and two. Orange Coast College being challenged by University of California Santa Barbara. Uh, they they are looks like University of California at Santa Barbara is pushing their advantage now. They have made a move and they're trying to row through the crew from Orange Coast College. And but right now they're about bow ball to bow ball.
Yeah, and a good strategy here again is not to go out too hard in the beginning. You want to have a good start, you want to have a fast start, but you don't want to go too hard. What we're seeing here between Orange Coast College and UC Santa Barbara is UC Santa Barbara is now hitting a base speed. Orange Coast College doesn't look like they're slowing down, but they're not speeding up. It looks like UC Santa Barbara is trying to speed up. They're bringing the rate up a little bit. They're trying. They see that they're horizontal. They're side by side with Orange Coast College. So now they're going to try and push at that 1,000-meter mark. Try to push their bow out in front. So the idea behind Orange Coast is not to slow down. You
And
don't want to give up. You
and
don't
here
want to show any kind of weakness as possible.
And here the shot we have right now that we show on our screen. This is what keeps the rowers all in the race. They can feel and see each other to their each side of them. This is boat racing. This is when you're an oarsman or oarswoman. This is what the fun part. When you're in contact with crews, that's what makes the racing fun, intense, and
Yeah.
more memorable.
And it's a very mental game.
Yeah,
If you're in the crew being overtaken, yeah, it's very mental. If you're in the crew that's doing the moving, that's moving out in front, yeah, you can sometimes carry that momentum and that adrenaline rush all the way to the finish line. But as we're seeing here from the overhead shot, we've got that UC Santa Barbara now has their bow out in front. So Orange Coast College, fine, keep it together. You guys had a lead. You're still in second place. You're right there. Just hold on to it. If I was that coxswain, I'd say, hey, we still have a lot of race course left. So just make sure that you maintain speed and we can build it up at the end. But
right.
UC Irvine, yeah, I wouldn't count UC Irvine. Like I said, there's still a lot of real estate left here. UC Irvine is right on the heels of those two other crews.
And it
You know,
looks like UC Irvine has put a push on. They've actually brought the rating. They did a power 20, and they've moved up on that crew in lane two. That's University of California Santa Barbara. So it's turning into a 2-3 boat race, and who knows who's gonna take this race because it looks like a dogfight between lanes one, two, and three. And don't count out the crew out in lane four, the University of California Davis. They're hanging in there also.
yeah, anything could go wrong. Again, with these crews, again, in this little opening, when you get a little bit of side chop, you want to stay nice and clean. You want to stay positive here. So productive all the way to the finish line. So the idea is to gain speed, not lose speed. And we're seeing that with some of these crews. We're seeing some of these crews get a little tired. Their heads start dropping around. The rowing get a little bit sloppy. It's the job of the coxswain to keep those crews intact all the way to the finish line, which is what we're seeing here. We're seeing UC Santa Barbara try to push out, but again, it's taking a little bit of time here. They had a good momentum, they had a good little push there, but maybe they're just holding on to it now. When we go back over to that overhead view, Orange Coast College still within striking distance. I
Yeah,
wouldn't count them out yet.
Yeah, this is good boat racing. They're all in contact. They can see each other. We've actually had lead exchanges, and Orange Coast College had gone down. Now they're back. It looks like they're back right in the fight with University of California Santa Barbara for that first position, and then University of California Irvine also in there. But it's really quite a boat race, and these gals are racing a good race.
Yeah, expect a little bit of build up here. I've definitely seen the crews start to bring it up. You can tell the ladies in that UC Santa Barbara crew are looking around a little bit. They're trying to look side to side to see if they've got the lead, see how much they have to hold on to. But that Orange Coast crew, yeah, that Orange Coast crew looks like they're putting themselves out in front again. Again, the angles might be playing tricks here, but Orange Coast crew might have pulled ahead. Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks like this UC Santa Barbara is trying to get right up next to him to make sure that, this is a barn burner at the end. But Orange Coast might have just made a push to put their bow. Yeah, yeah, there you go.
yeah, they
There's
have.
the angle. Yeah, they put their bow. You can see how they're moving like seat by seat. It's not going to be a whole lot at once. It's going to be just inches, a game of inches. This race is really long, and if you can stack all those inches on each other, yeah, and get your bow in front, you will be the winner. But still very tight. Still a couple hundred meters here. Again, it's between Orange Coast College and UC Santa Barbara. Right behind them, the UC Irvine, right on their tails. But pretty tight overlap across all four.
And as they're coming right down in front of us, in front of the beach here, it is a barn burner. And it's Orange Coast College neck and neck with the University of California, Santa Barbara. It's going to be who gets that last stroke in,
Yeah.
literally,
Yep.
who gets the last stroke in, who gets that last squeeze into the bow. Because it's bow ball to bow ball as we
Yep.
come up to the
It's
finish
going to be a
line.
photo
Orange
finish.
Coast, UC Santa Barbara, Orange Coast, UC Santa Barbara,
Oof.
maybe UC Santa Barbara,
Yeah.
hard to tell.
Looked like UC Santa Barbara just
Oh my gosh.
barely inched out Orange Coast. Orange Coast finishing a few inches behind in second.
Regardless,
And then
what a race, ladies. That was a pleasure to watch.
yeah.
Well done, all crews.
And then we have in lane 3 in third place UC Irvine, and then in fourth place UC Davis.
What a race! What a fight! The intensity of the last 500 meters was a treat.
All right.
Well,
And I
that's it
believe
for
that
today. That's it for
concludes
this
today. Yeah.
afternoon.
And thank everybody for joining us for the 51st Crew Classic. We're
We
glad the weather held.
we kicked off the first day, and the weather gods are disappointed. The San Diego tradition kicked in. We had another beautiful day on San Diego's Mission Bay here in
yeah.
beautiful
I think
rainy San Diego.
I think our president Mark Rose of the Crew Classic, he did his rain dance this morning so it wouldn't rain, and I think it worked. So we'll have to hold him to it tomorrow.
Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you.